This Outlaws team is looking to win their fourth consecutive game tonight here at Shuttleworth Park. Welcome in to Oneonta Outlaws pregame. My name is Colby Smith. A pleasure as always to be here with you. This Outlaws team coming in tonight now 3-1, and that Friday 11-0 home opener shutout loss to Socrates is officially in the rearview mirror. This team has put up double-digit runs in 3 consecutive games, including the last one before we had our off day yesterday against the Boonville Lumberjets at home on Wednesday night. Our player of the game in that one, as I'm sure you probably saw on our social media by now, Cullen Condon, 5 innings pitched for the Outlaws, surrendered just 6 hits, 2 runs. Both of those were earned, walking 3 and striking out 11 in 5. Plus, the Outlaws needed just 3 arms to get through that game on Wednesday night as Condon threw the 5+. Brian Dangler then came back and threw 2+ before Clay Kotz certainly made it interesting at the end, but he shut the door for the Oneonta Outlaws, going 2 innings to secure the, well, very nitty-gritty save, and the Outlaws came away with their 3rd straight victory. The lineup on Wednesday is certainly going to look a lot different than the lineup that'll come to Amsterdam here tonight, but one guy you got to talk about that we talked about with assistant coach Josiah Aska this afternoon, Brendan Connolly. He was at the 2 spot in the order again on Wednesday night for the Outlaws. Another multi-hit game, and now through the first 4 that he's played for the Outlaws, has 3 multi-hit games, 2 for 4 in total on Wednesday, 3 runs, and he had a walk. Another guy, Jacoby Dale, he's not going to be in the lineup tonight, but he had 3 hits for the Outlaws on Wednesday, 3 for 5 in total with 3 RBIs. This lineup is really clicking on all cylinders for Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska right now. And one thing that you really got to take note of as well, this team 11 watts in total on Wednesday night. That's their most watts that they've drawn in a game so far this season. They have 36 free passes in total through the first 4 games, something to take watch on a team who says that they're trying to swing early in counts, not fall behind early. And they're certainly not going to have an easy task tonight facing an Amsterdam starter who makes his 2nd appearance on the bump so far this season, and Justice Augusto, 1-0, a 2.25 ERA, 4 innings pitched, 1 run. It was earned, 3 hits, striking out 5 and walking just 2 in a Saturday 12-1 win against the Watertown Rapids last week here for Amsterdam. Their one loss came to that Socrates Stallions team that's going to lead this East Division here as we move into week number 2 of this PGCBL season. But without no further ado, we're going to take our first break on the pregame show as we head on down, chop things up earlier this afternoon with assistant coach of the Outlaws, Josiah Aska. So keep it right here. Coach Aska coming up. Back here on our pregame show, Colby Smith for another coach's interview with Josiah Aska. Coach, now after this off day, you guys head to the house of the defending champs tonight, now winners of 3 straight. How are you guys feeling about things?
Feel as good as we can, just prepare for the day.
Well, and the other night against the Boonville Lumberjets, it was the 3rd straight game where you guys had put up double-digit runs, 3rd straight game where you guys had drawn double-digit watts. How has that just, played to the role of the success here early on, and how have you guys liked what you've seen?
Just as a team, changing up our approach was a good thing. Being more aggressive earlier in counts allows us to battle longer, if not draw walks, figure out where the pitcher is, be smart in the box. We really like it. It's given us the best opportunity to put ourselves in a position to win the game, and we had a lot of bags too, which was very important. Getting our runners in the scoring position as early as possible was very good.
Well, and how do you feel like those stolen bases have kind of been a difference from last year, considering the fact that you guys have been one of the most aggressive teams here early on?
It's good. I love it. That's my big job at first base, is to try to get them to second as soon as possible, and the guys are doing it. So.
Well, and one thing that we got to talk about, the pitching the other night, Cullen Condon, your starter, goes 5 innings, striking out 11. How have you guys liked what you've seen from your rotation and your bullpen so far?
They've been doing a really good job. Top to bottom, everybody's going out, throwing strikes, and just competing, and I love it.
Well, and considering the fact that you guys have to cover so many innings here this weekend with the game tonight and then the doubleheader tomorrow, how do you feel you guys are in a good position in that sense?
It's a little nerve-wracking. We have a lot of innings to cover, but hopefully our guys, some starters, can go out, take up a couple of innings, and then everybody can come in, keep the pitch counts low, and just throw strikes, get early swings.
Well, tonight you guys are going with Jordan Goebel on the bump. Threw him on Monday night against Glens Falls. Only was able to not make it out of the 2nd inning. How are you guys hoping that he can battle back here for you tonight?
Well, we were also limited in his pitch count, which was another reason we just pulled him after 2. But tonight, hopefully, he could just do the same thing, get us 3 or 4 maybe, and just give us a better chance a little bit.
Well, and looking at this matchup on paper tonight, you guys are playing a team that has not lost 2 of their first 6 games in a season since 21. They rarely ever lose at home, only 7 losses at home these last 3 years. How do you guys just look at that heading into a game like this?
Try to take advantage, catch them at maybe a low time, slow time. Just play hard, do our best, do what we can, control our controllables.
And over the course of these last few days, you guys have had more guys continue to roll into town here. A couple of the Marist guys arrived today. You also got those guys from the U of New Orleans into the lineup early this week. How have these guys who've rolled in here as the days have gone by helped you guys out?
Just give us a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, but just some different looks. Change the lineup up.
Well, in terms of the lineup construction that you guys have been running here, you've opted to bat 10 over the course of your first several games here. You had 7 to 10 guys get a hit the other night after 9 of 10 the night before. How do you guys just feel like the batting 10 thing has really helped you out?
It worked, so we kept going with it, and it's given us a better chance to rotate guys, keep maybe 2 or 3 in the lineup in the same spots, but it's allowed us to get everybody in.
Well, and one guy that I wanted to highlight specifically, other than Condon, Brendan Connolly, now 3 multi-hit games over the course of the first 4 here. How do you guys feel that he's going to help you out moving forward there at the top of the lineup?
Very pleased with him. Just hope he keeps it going.
And now, Coach, one last question here before I let you get back to it. Again, you guys going to Amsterdam tonight, then have that doubleheader tomorrow. What are you guys just going to have be your approach tonight and heading into this weekend?
Just battle. Just battle.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight. Well, part of our bus ride conversation up to Amsterdam here this afternoon was where assistant coach Josiah Aska is going to go next for an interview. You see him on the golf cart this afternoon. He's made it his goal every time he is interviewed for the rest of the summer to make it in a different spot. So keep an eye out for where you're going to see Josiah Aska the next time up on the coach's rotation, because tomorrow before the game, you'll hear from head coach Keaton Mark. Got to give a huge thank you to our Outlaws coaches, Keaton and Josiah, as well as all our players for being so good about taking the time for interviews before the game. In just a couple of moments, you'll hear from Outlaws player of the game on Wednesday that we talked about already, Cullen Condon. But before we get into that, we got to show you tonight's Outlaws starting lineup. Leading off at shortstop is going to be Tanner Harden, as he's in there for his 2nd consecutive game. Jaden Ross, the center fielder, going to hit 2nd. Ethan Glossa, the extra hitter, hits 3rd. Jack Hopko, the designated hitter in the 4th spot. Colton Harrison, the left fielder, hits 5th. Brody Rowley, our second baseman pitcher to your left, going to be in that 6th spot. Marco Moises, the right fielder, hits 7th. Chase Armstrong, the first baseman, 8th. Jeremy Tagger, the catcher, 9th. Jack Bateman, the third baseman, 10th. As we head to the national anthem here in Amsterdam, let's hear from Cullen Condon. Back here on our pregame show, Colby Smith, pleased to be joined by Wednesday night's player of the game, Cullen Condon. Cullen, you're absolutely electric in your start on Wednesday. 11 strikeouts, 5 innings. How did it feel to get out there and pick up some good innings?
It was just good to get out there, be on the mound, and dominate with the team and everybody just behind my back. And it was a great start.
Well, before the game on Wednesday, you and Lucas Grantham were telling me that you were working on that changeup, and you showcased it quite a bit the other night. What was it like just working that in your arsenal?
It was good to get a feel for it in the beginning of the game, but should have used it in the last inning that I had, but it's just how it goes.
Well, and now you've made 2 appearances for this team this summer, and obviously Wednesday the better one of the 2. What was it like to just, come back and bounce back after Friday?
Just got to keep it moving, Started good on Friday, had a good outing on Friday, and it just led into the Wednesday start. Had a good start there, too.
Well, and moving forward, as we progress throughout the summer, what are you just looking to get out of your experience here in Oneonta?
Just hanging out with the boys and getting to know everybody, make some new connections, and obviously play some baseball and go win some baseball games.
Well, and talking about that, what's it been like adjusting to a whole new locker room and being around a whole new group of guys?
Oh, it's been great. It's definitely a great experience. Get to meet a bunch of new guys, played with a couple new guys, so it's definitely a good experience for sure.
Well, and specifically for you, you have to make that adjustment from facing high school hitters to now facing college hitters for the first time. What's it been like trying to make that adjustment?
Definitely a little more difficult, but seem to be handling it pretty well. Hopefully continue that in the next start.
Well, and how do you feel like the patience level is kind of different here in terms of in high school you get a lot of first pitch swinging, but obviously you've had a lot of two-strike counts here over your first couple of appearances?
Yeah, it's definitely harder. There's way more discipline in the plate, laying off pitches that are an inch or two off and not our strikes, but definitely getting used to painting outside corner and getting used to throwing changeups, curveballs, trying to get them in the 0-2 count. So.
Well, and Cullen, now you guys as a squad have won 3 consecutive games. You're looking for 4 in a row tonight, going to the house of the defending champs. What's the feeling like around the locker room right now?
Definitely quiet so far, but hopefully get it ramped up towards the end and on the bus. So.
Well, and moving forward here, heading into this weekend, obviously, again, tonight you guys playing the defending champions, but then tomorrow you have a doubleheader, which is a test that this team will have for the first time. How do you guys just have to keep yourselves fresh here and, come into such a big weekend?
Just got to stay focused. Everybody's got to stay focused, locked in, and just do what we do best for the game the right way.
Cullen, last question here before I let you go. Obviously, all you guys have different ways for how you spend your off days. Where can everybody find you around Oneonta when this team has a day off?
On my off days, either at Tino's Pizza eating pizza or fishing at the pond right down the street. So,
Cullen, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
thank you.
Well, you heard it there first from Outlaws starter Cullen Condon. Might not be much of a talker when the camera's on him, but we appreciate him nonetheless popping by on our pregame show. Couldn't help but give him the pregame interview nod today after his excellent start on Wednesday night. Keaton March said it after his first outing of the season against Socrates, but Condon was going to come in here and pick up some starts for this team, and certainly a great first start at that for the Wofford commit, and we'll see him in a couple of days for this team once again. The Outlaws have quite a few innings to fill, as we've harped a couple of times here already on our pregame show, mostly with Josiah Aska, as the Outlaws going to have this game tonight against the Mohawks, and then they'll turn around and go home tomorrow to play a doubleheader against the Albany Baseball Club, as it'll be a pair of games sponsored by the want to make sure I get this right. It's a pair of games sponsored by the Oneonta Elementary Schools PTO. I almost said Otsego Elementary Schools PTO, so again, my apologies. Wanted to make sure I get that right for you. But Omnigane Brewery going to have happy hour for us from 4 to 5 before they sponsor our 2 games tomorrow night. It'll be a first pitch of 5 o'clock tomorrow night for game 1. We'll take a half hour between the 2 games. Both will be 7 innings, so make sure you come join us as the Outlaws return home to Damaski Field. It'll be home on Saturday, off day Sunday, and then another home game Monday against Utica. And then this Outlaws team going to be very road heavy for the next couple of days after, as it'll be 5 of 6 on the road for the Outlaws post Monday. But we get ready to go here in Amsterdam for first pitch as Augusto's wrapped up his warm-up pitches, and we're going to waste no time. Tanner Hardin struts to the plate for the Outlaws as we flash up our great scoreboard for you here on screen. Hardin playing in his second consecutive game, 1 for 3 for the Outlaws against the Boonville Lumberjacks on Wednesday night. Had 2 runs scored, an RBI, walked twice, and most impressively stole 5 bags. It's Augusto, first pitch, low and away outside, ball 1. Hardin 5'9", 145 from Union, South Carolina. The Mohawks in those red tops with the Mohawks in black across the front, as that's bounced in for ball 2 to Hardin. Hardin from the left side here for the Outlaws, who are in their visiting white tops with Oneonta in orange across the front. Orange numbers on their bats, black shoulders, and they're wearing the gray pants here tonight on the road. The Mohawks numbers are in black. They got the white pants on here at home. as the Mohawks already playing their third home game in PGCBL play. 2-0, smoked on the ground, going to roll into the gap in right center field. Harden with a big turnaround first base. He's going to go to second. The throw, not going to be in time. It'll skip away. It rolls into shallow left field. Tanner Harden's going to have a leadoff hit here for the Outlaws. Harden doubles on the 2-0, and that's one way to get the game started here on the road against the defending champions. Amsterdam has won the league the last 2 years and has taken 3 of the last 4 titles dating back to 2019, as we, of course, did not have an official PGCBL season in 2020, which was our COVID year, of course. Next up, we'll go to Jaden Ross here in the Oneonta order. Harden dancing off of second base down there, trying to get Augusto to go for a pickoff, but instead going to come home. Ross tried to show bunt, as they call it strike one, as it came right down the gut. Harden's going to stay pretty close down there to second base. Daniel and Stewart are 2 middle infielders who can certainly drift close to that bag in no time and catch a guy off guard. We've seen it a couple of times already through Amsterdam's first few games. Augusto with the 0-1 pitch home. Ross going to lay off, and it'll be 1 ball, 1 strike. Ross for the Outlaws, 3 games played so far. He's 2 for 10 with 3 RBIs, 3 walks, but he's struck out 5 times, the number he's looking to change here moving forward. 1-1, nobody out, top of the first here in Amsterdam. First of 4 this season between the Outlaws and Mohawks, as that's a called strike 2 on the upper outside corner. Ross wearing that green USF batting helmet in the box here for the Outlaws. 6'1", 185. He's from Tampa. Is Augusto. Another check flip down to second. Home with the 1-2. Ross lays off as it's in the opposite batter's box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now going to be our count. Ethan Glossa, the extra hitter, waiting on deck for the Outlaws, who occupy the third base dugout tonight here in Amsterdam. The home Mohawks take up the first base dugout as Augusto working now from the stretch. 2-2 with nobody out, up and away, ball 3. So Ross works the count full here behind Tanner Harden's leadoff double. The Outlaws haven't had much success in recent memory against this Amsterdam Mohawks team, something we'll talk about all throughout the night. As the 3-2 pitch home, up and away, ball 4. And the Outlaws have back-to-back guys on base to start this ball game. Gusto looking a little wild in that at bat to Jaden Ross. It's even the strikes he threw. Just one of them kind of right down the middle of that zone. So it'll be first and second for the Outlaws with nobody out here in the top of the first. And down we go to Ethan Glossa with now Jack Hopko coming out of the on-deck circle. We got here a little bit later than we wanted to Amsterdam this afternoon. As Outlaws rolling in here just before 6 o'clock as a check flip down to second. Glossa took a big swing, couldn't connect as he'll fall behind 0-1. Glossa had the night off on Wednesday after playing his first 2 games as an Outlaw Monday and Tuesday. Augusto now ahead in the count, 0-1. Probably going to go off speed here if it's at bat to Ross, any indication. The 0-1, low and away outside. Count will go to 1-1. Glossa 3 for 7, 5 runs scored, has an RBI, 2 walks, and he's another guy who's certainly electric on the base paths. 3 stolen bases here for Oneonta thus far. 1-1 pitch from Augusto, up and away, but they call it a strike. It'll be 1-2. Glossa 5'11", 190, very intimidating presence in the box here for Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska's squad at the top of this order. Every time he's in there, probably going to hang top 4 in the order. Harden dancing off of second base down there, trying to draw a throw from Augusto. 1-2 pitch, he's on the run as this one's sprayed up behind home plate foul, and so Glossa stays alive. Josiah Asko was talking about in our pregame interview today how he's trying to send these guys as quickly as he can, as that's his job, try to get these guys in scoring position as quickly as possible. 14 stolen bases for the Outlaws in total in that game on Wednesday. If that says anything, 29 bags stolen through the first 4 games. As the 1-2, Glossa sent out on the ground to right field. Harden going to take a big turn around third. We'll get a play at the plate as the tag by Natali, and they call safe. Harden scores the first run. Ross gets to third. Ball skips away from Sparks down there. The run crosses the plate, and the Outlaws going to have a 1-0 lead. So great base running there by Ethan Glossa to get himself over to second base as he picks up the RBI, and we'll get a first inning mound trip here for the Mohawks with no surprise. Harden going to have his third run scored already, and the Outlaws immediately going to have two more in scoring position. Certainly not the place the Mohawks thought they'd find themselves in against this Oneonta team that has not beaten them in 710 days. Yes, you heard me right, 710. It has been almost 2 years since the Outlaws defeated the Mohawks. The last time was on Wednesday, June 29, 2022, down at Oneonta. It was a 5-2 score in favor of the Outlaws that night. Since then, of course, not too many meetings between these two, despite the close proximity. These two only play a handful of times a year, this year being no different with just 4 total meetings. Is now walking back to the dugout here for Amsterdam. Going to be pitching coach Zach Breen. Sold out crowd on hand here in Amsterdam tonight. Certainly quiet in this top half of the first inning so far as Jack Kopko going to take a slow walk to the plate for the Outlaws. Always interesting to hear from these guys on bus rides in the locker room before games, because one thing I didn't know, Jack Kopko and Brody Raleigh, who are 4 and 6 in the order for the Outlaws tonight, part of the 2016 Maine Endwell Little League World Series winning team. Is Hopko going to lead in the count 1-0? Hopko just finished his sophomore year at the University of Rhode Island. As the lights are on here at Shuttleworth Park in this first inning, and that'll break Hopko back as the count's going to go to 2-0. Outlaws have taken quite a few hit-by pitches so far in this early part of the season as well. Hopko's only got 1 to his credit. Is Augusto looking for a strike here on the 2-0 and going to catch it on the lower outside corner. So the count will go 2-1 as he goes to the breaking pitch. Dancing off at third base, Jaden Ross. 2-1 from Augusto, swing and a miss. Hopko took a big whiff at that one as the count going to go to 2-2. Hopko, 2 games so far this season, 2 for 5, has an RBI, a couple of walks, a strikeout, and 1 stolen base. Still nobody out here top of the first on the road for the Outlaws. Is the 2-2. Going to brush Hopko back again. Came up at his elbow. As Augusto's going to see a second straight full count. Hopko will settle himself back in the box. Left foot he sets up close to the chalk line. Right foot back is the 3-2. Sent up and away, foul, and it goes to that tree line just out of the ballpark on the third base side. If you've never been to a game here at Shuttleworth Park, trees just beyond the third base side out of the ballpark, trees in the outfield, and then more trees on first base. It's 3-2, past the diving shortstop and Stewart into right field. Big turn by Hopko, 1 run's going to score. Cruising in to score as well, going to be Glossa, and it's 3-0 Outlaws here in the first. You love to see that from Jack Kopko, who said that he wanted to break through in a big way in that designated hitter spot tonight, as he just smoked that one out to right field in this inning, staying alive for Colton Harrison. Harrison 0 for 2 in his Outlaw tenure so far. A couple of runs scored, a strikeout, 3 stolen bats, and 3 hit-by pitches. As we're going to get a trip to the field from one of the members of the Amsterdam coaching staff. Looks like he's checking on Stewart, who went diving for that ball. No better time now to take a look around the horn defensively for Amsterdam. Left to right in the outfield, that's Harden, O'Brien, Eldred. And from first to third on the infield, going to be Lanahoff, Stewart, Daniel, Sparks, and behind the plate is Natali. I think with the way Stewart came down on that one, they're checking on his hand, making sure he's all right to stay in this ball game. Certainly never want to see anybody play through some discomfort, especially this early on in the summer, and the fact that these guys are just using the summers and experience to get some good at-bats in, get some more experience out there on the field, and hopefully go back to their college teams better than when they showed up. Coach Griffin certainly helps get these Amsterdam Mohawk players in good shape, as it looks like the trainer is going to take Stewart back toward the dugout with him. We're probably going to get a first inning change here for the Amsterdam Mohawks at second base, which is certainly unfortunate. We are going to step aside, though, until we get things squared away. Augusto's certainly a long layoff. We'll see how it affects him. But again, quick break for our injury timeout here in the top of the first. So certainly quite an interesting turn of events. Aiden Stewart went back to the dugout with the trainer. It looked like he was coming out of the ball game. We had Sebastian Harden come all the way in from left field. Thought we were going to get a change. Harden going to second base and whatnot, and somebody else coming out for the outfield. But the Mohawks certainly don't have many options with not a lot of guys in town yet, as Harrison quickly ahead in the count 1-0. Pitch from Augusto, drilled Harrison on the hand as he fires the bat away. And the Outlaws will have first and second with still nobody out here in this first inning. But what I was saying, Stewart went back to the dugout with the trainer, and it looked like they did something to his hand, and he immediately came back into the ball game. Is now the trainer going to come out and talk to Natali? This Amsterdam Mohawks team certainly in some discomfort in this first inning between Stewart and now Natali. As Natali holding his head back there, looks like he's checking on his knee as well. Don't know what the deal is with that. It wasn't like that pitch hit him. It hit Harrison, who just took it like a man, jogged down there to first, and now going over to second is Hopko. So Hopko's at second, Harrison is at first. And there's still nobody out in this top half of the first inning for the Outlaws, who already lead 3-0 if you're just dropping by. Had an RBI double from Ethan Glossa to bring in Tanner Harden, and an RBI single from Jack Hopko that drove in Ross and Glossa, as it's Brody Rowley playing second base, digging in. Rowley going to take a first pitch strike right down Maine, and he'll fall behind 0-1. He had the night off on Wednesday as well, as played in 2 of the first 4 for the Outlaws. Both his hits thus far have been for extra bases. As Augusto, little check look down to second, home with the 0-1. Up and away it goes, as the count going to go to 1-1 on Raleigh. 5'10", 190 is Raleigh. Just finished his first year at Western Carolina. Guy, as I mentioned already, who played with Jack Kopko on that 2016 Maine Endwell Little League team. As the 1-1 from Augusto, up and in at the hands, ball 2, as he continues to look wild in his first frame for the Mohawks. It's not like it's going to get any less busy for Amsterdam moving forward, as they play at Boonville tomorrow, at Saugerties on Sunday, before they get an off day Monday, thankfully, but then a super busy stretch as Raleigh can't connect on the fastball. He'll trail behind 2-2 as that one came right down the center of the zone. Augusto looking to get an out here in a big way for his squad that looks a little defeated in his top half of the first inning. Far from an ideal Amsterdam start than what we're used to, as Augusto fired down to second. Stewart laid the tag, but it wasn't in time. Jack Kopko just trying to throw him off guard here in this top half of the first inning. Hop goes at second. Harrison is at first. The Outlaws lead 3-0 here in the top of the first. 2-2 pitch. Bounced in the dirt. And Natali kept it in front, so the count will move full. Here on the Outlaws 6-hole guy. Marco Moises, the right fielder, going to be in the 7th spot. Chase Armstrong at first base, hitting 8th. Jeremy Taggart, the catcher, 9th. And Jack Bateman, the third baseman, 10th. Here for this Outlaw squad that bats 10 for the 5th consecutive game. You got to expect if the Outlaws continue to keep firing on all cylinders with 10 in the lineup that it'll stay 10 that this team keeps batting. Augusto. Home with the 3-2. Up and in it comes. Ball 4, and the bases are going to be loaded here for Oneonta. Brody Raleigh drawing his 4th walk of the summer already. Hopko goes to 3rd. Harrison to 2nd. And Raleigh, of course, now at 1st as we go down to Marco Moises. Moises wears 23 for this Outlaws club. Looking for his first hit of the summer, and wouldn't it be something to get it here on the road against the defending champs? Through their first 7 years in PGCBL membership, the Outlaws have only made the postseason twice, and they've lost in their first game to this Amsterdam Mohawks club. Both times they've made it, so certainly a revenge factor, not only in that sense, but also in the fact it's been so long since these two teams have seen Oneonta come away victorious. Moises going to jump ahead in the count, 2-0. Played on Tuesday night against Watertown. It's him and Harrison, both coming from the University of New Orleans. 2-0, he lays off, and it's called strike. Harrison, we talked about it on our broadcast the other night, but did announce he's entering the transfer portal. Moises will go back to the U of NO next year as he takes a big swing. Couldn't connect on that one. So the count will go to 2-2 on Moises as Augusto has gotten 2 strikes on an Outlaw hitter for the 4th time already, but has yet to put anybody away. 2-2, the kick and the delivery. Moises fouls it off as that goes into the tree line on the third base side. Chase Armstrong, the first baseman for Oneonta, waiting on deck. It's a special day here for the Outlaws with number 18 in the lineup. We'll get to that when he comes to the dish. The 2-2 pitch from Augusto. Up and in for ball 3. Just couldn't get that curve to break back over the plate. As the Outlaws hitters have once again worked the count full here in this first frame. 3-0 lead for Oneonta. RBI double from Glossa, 2 RBI single from Jack Kompko. Now looking to cash in more with the bases loaded. 3-2, up and away. Augusto has nowhere to put him, so it walks in a run. It'll be 4-0 here in this first inning, and Amsterdam desperately going to be looking to get out of this inning somehow. Bren going to point down to the Amsterdam bullpen as we'll see what's going to happen. We'll add that 4th run to our scoreboard for you. And my apologies if at some point tonight I do get behind on our scoreboard and account or whatnot. Running the setup here totally myself here tonight. So just wanted to let you know to bear with me on that one. But Chase Armstrong will come up for the Outlaws. Now a 4-0 lead here in this top of the first inning. I don't think I've ever seen a time in an Amsterdam Mohawks game where we've seen 2 visits to the hill in the first inning from pitching coach Breed. As he'll walk back to the dugout, and it looks like we are going to get a pitching change. Is Augusto going to come off the hill? So we will step aside as the Mohawks making a call to the bullpen in this first inning, already trailing by a 4-0 score. The Outlaws have bases loaded with nobody out. Armstrong will be at the plate when we return. Finishing his warm-up tosses on the hill for the Amsterdam Mohawks, wearing the number 36 out there, Jesse Kuzmic, 6'3", 190. He's a righty from Greenwich, New York, just finished his sophomore season at Coastal Alabama North. So not able to make it out of the first inning is Justice Augusto, as the line on him not going to be finished, but it'll be a 0.0 in that score column on Point Street for how long he's able to make it through. He surrenders 3 hits to this Outlaws roster. Oneonta also drawing 3 walks and a hit by pitch, as well as Armstrong going to lay off the first pitch for ball 1. It is Chase Armstrong Day here in Amsterdam tonight for the Oneonta Outlaws. It is Armstrong's birthday, so a huge happy birthday to Chase Armstrong as the 1-0 from Kuzmic. Armstrong, slow bouncer, going to get in the foul ground just past first base coach Josiah Azka. The count's 1-1. Now on the corner infielder from Ohio Northern U. Just finished his sophomore year at ONU as he sends this one just inside the line. This one's going to get all the way down to the corner, just to the right of the foul pole. 1 run's going to score, 2 are going to score, 3 are going to score. Armstrong trying to get to third, and he dives in head first, safe. Armstrong with a bases clearing triple here for the Outlaws, and it is 7-0 in this first inning. You love to see this. Chase Armstrong, a bases clearing triple in the first to bring in Harrison, Raleigh, and Moises, and there are still no outs. So all 7 of those runs will go to the starting pitcher in Augusto, all of which will be earned as well. So his ERA certainly going to see some inflation after tonight. Was just a 2.25 coming in as Taggart sends a bouncer towards third. Picked up on the 1-hop. Sparks fires to first. And finally the Mohawks get it out. They retire Taggart 5-3 on first pitch swinging. And the Outlaws already down to their 10th spot in the order in Jack Bateman. Bateman's played in 3 games for this Outlaw team already, so he gets his 4th appearance tonight. This Oneonta lineup a little all over the place with no Brendan Connolly, no Jacoby Dale in there tonight. And we hope the best for Connor Wading as well, as he was unable to make the trip due to illness. As another first pitch looked like Bateman wanted to offer as they called it a strike. So Bateman going to fall behind in the count, 0-1. And one thing that Mark and Azka have stressed to this team is you can take 1, but don't take 2, as the 0-1. Caught off the nub of the bat, and he'll fall behind 0-2. So everybody for the Mohawks kind of coming in here on Bateman. As it looks like Kuzmic going to try to pitch to contact to get out of this first inning. Most notable for the Outlaws, 7 runs across the plate on just 4 hits, is that one going to spray up a little bit of paint. It'll be 1-2. Paint, chalk, whatever you want to call it. It is an all-turf infield here in Amsterdam, if you didn't notice the difference watching along here on our YouTube feed. As the 1-2 pitch from Kuzmic sails in tight, ball 2. Looked like it just missed Bateman trying to come on in there. Bateman certainly no stranger to taking some hit-by pitches. Is yet to take one this summer for this Oneonta team that's taken a handful. 2-2 from Kuzmic. Swing and a miss. Drop third, strike in the dirt. Natali going to jump up, fires it to first, and Ladenhoff. And there are 2 away here now for the Outlaws. So we'll clear that away here for you on our scoreboard. As it's a K and 2-3 if you're scoring along at home, as we go back to the top of the order here for Oneonta, as they've batted around, even batting 10 here in inning number 1 on the road at Shuttleworth Park. Oneonta only makes 2 trips this season up here, as Hardin going to lay off this one, but a called strike nonetheless. Kuzmic going with that breaking stuff coming out of the bullpen here for Amsterdam. This is his 2nd appearance, as he also came in relief of Augusto against Watertown last week, as that one sent away, foul by Hardin. And now Kuzmic 1 pitch away from getting out of this first inning finally for this Amsterdam team that's certainly been battle-tested in this first inning. Be curious to see when the last time this team gave up a 7 spot in an inning was, as the 0-2. Hardin swing and a miss. So Kuzmic going to come in and finish the job as he gives up a triple to the first hitter he sees in Chase Armstrong that clears the bases, but then he works out of trouble the rest of the way. So 7-0 Outlaws going to be your score as we head to the bottom half of the first here in Amsterdam. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park here in Amsterdam on Outlaws YouTube. As we always remind you, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do today at Oneonta Outlaws PGCBL here on YouTube, because all Outlaws games, home and road, for the remainder of 2024 are going to be streamed right here live, except, of course, when we go to Mohawk Valley, but that's a different story. All the rest of our games will be streamed live here on Outlaws YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. The Amsterdam Mohawks 4-1 with their lone loss so far in the summer coming to Socrates. They have not lost 2 of their first 6 games in the summer since 2021, something we talked about with assistant coach Azka prior to game time today. They're just hoping they can catch this Mohawks team sleeping. Sometimes teams with that record that the Outlaws possessed last summer, or even just, you know, the reputation that you get against an opponent, sometimes you sleep on your team. And this Mohawks team certainly sleeping on the Outlaws, it seems, entering into tonight, as Pete Daniel, the leadoff batter for the Mohawks, going to walk to the plate to get things started against the Outlaws starter in Mr. Jordan Goebel. Goebel making his second appearance for the Outlaws, went just an inning and 2/3 Monday at Glens Falls. Daniels set up in the box, sends the first pitch out to right field. Moises coming on in, going to get underneath it for the first out. So it'll be an F9 to retire Daniel, who's been the hottest hitter in that Mohawks lineup so far here to begin the season. We shift things down to Zach Eldred, who's playing right field. He's got a .429 average and one of 4 lefties in the lineup tonight for head coach Keith Griffin. Goebel the kick, going to come in for a called strike. Bit of a delayed strike call from our home plate umpire, which it seems like we've seen quite a bit of in our Outlaw games thus far this week. Eldred 6'3", 190, just finished his senior year at Brockport as the 0-1. Sent on the bounce towards first. Armstrong going to take it to the bag himself, and there's 2 Mohawks down here in this bottom of the first. Goebel making quick work of Amsterdam here to begin things, as Jackson Natali going to come up to the plate. Natali 7 for 17 so far on the summer, has 3 extra base hits, all of which are doubles, as well as 6 RBIs, as this one skipped out and away by Jordan Goebel. 1 ball and no strikes will be our count. Goebel was kept on a pitch count on Monday night at Glens Falls, only threw 47, 28 of which were for strikes against the Dragons. Swing and a miss, as Natali couldn't connect on that one. Count will go to 1-1 on the 3-hole guy in the Mohawks order. Outlaws infield drifting in as the 1-1. Breaking pitch couldn't clip that lower outside corner. 2-1 it'll go. First to third on the infield for the Outlaws. Armstrong, Raleigh, Hardin, and Bateman. It's Taggart behind the plate with Goebel. It's the 2-1. Sent in the air towards center field. Drifting on back goes Ross, and he's able to make the catch on the track. So the Mohawks going to go down 1, 2, 3 here in this bottom half of inning number 1. Let's go to the top of the second here in Amsterdam as the Mohawks trailing the Outlaws by a 7-0 score. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park here in Amsterdam on Outlaws YouTube. My name is Colby Smith. As we turn things over to the top half of the second here for the Oneonta Outlaws, it'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the Oneonta order to come to the plate, which were very productive spots in the first inning. Ross first pitch swinging, Sparks, slow roller to first, out. It'll be just in time to get Jaden Ross down there at first. Sparks certainly has a cannon down there at third, can power it across the infield like it's nothing. So they retired Jaden Ross, who drew a walk and came in to score in the first inning. And up next to walk Ethan Glossa, who doubled and drove in the first Oneonta run before Sitz Moore would come on in to score in that top half of the first. Glossa set up, Kuzmic kicks and fires, up and away. It'll be a called strike though, as it's 0-1. Glossa just finished his second year up at Herkimer. He's the extra hitter tonight for Keaton Mark as he lays off the 0-1, but a called strike 2, and he falls behind 0-2. Kuzmic got the save in that game against Watertown last Saturday night, even though it was an 11-run game. 0-2, tipped bat by Glossa as he hangs alive. Didn't even allow a hit. No hits, no runs. No earned runs, of course. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts as he only had to face 12 across 3 innings. So he closes the door last Saturday, hoping he can continue to keep this Oneonta team at bay, as that's up and in with a little elevator shot, 1-2. Jack Hopko, the designated hitter, due up behind Glossa in the second inning for Oneonta. The sun that we saw peek out in the bottom half of the first is now gone as the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Glossa sent down swinging. And Kuzmic continuing to stay hot here out of this Amsterdam bullpen. He came in and he gave up a triple to the wall out in right field to Chase Armstrong, and has since retired 5 straight Outlaws. Is up a walk, Hopko indeed. Hopko singled and drove in 2 back in the first inning. It's Kuzmits sent a fastball right down the heart of the zone, drifting over, catch made in center field by O'Brien. So it'll be an L8 to retire Jack Hopko, and we will go to the bottom of the second inning here in Amsterdam as the Outlaws go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the second. The Mohawks come to bat in the bottom of the second when we come. Keaton March certainly wasn't kidding when he turned around and told Jordan Goebel on the bus to be ready for long breaks in between half innings because they love to keep the fans engaged here in Amsterdam, something you certainly love to see, but for an opposing starting pitcher, certainly can wear on him after time. Jordan Goebel works the Mohawks down 1-2-3 in the first inning, and it'll be 4-5-6 in the Amsterdam order here at Shuttleworth Park for this second frame. Aiden Stewart, the right fielder, going to lead off the inning for Keith Griffin's Mohawks. Amsterdam 48 runs scored through the course of their first 5 games as Goebel sails that one in low and outside. Goebel gave up just 4 hits to the Dragons on Monday night up at East Field, and there was some concerns about whether the Dragons and Lumberjacks would play tonight due to the weather, but they're in action as well. Is of course the Outlaws and Mohawks as that one sent up foul to even this count at 1-1. Couple of games in the PGCBL did get postponed or canceled tonight, and we'll get into that in the third inning when we take our first look of the evening at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard. Stewart just finished his sophomore year down at Delaware, takes the 1-1 on a break out and away as the count will go to 2-1. Stewart, a lefty batter, but throws with his right hand, so one of those unique guys in that sense. 5'10", 185 in that batter's box, sent with an even keel stance. Breaking pitch clips the lower middle of the zone, and it goes to 2-2 here on the Mohawks leadoff batter in the bottom of the second. Cade Ladahoff playing first, and Jake Sparks at third. Going to follow Stewart up in this second inning. 2-2, broke over the plate, sent away foul, and Stewart hangs alive. Stewart with that bright blue batting helmet, certainly with the white pants and the red jersey top, makes him look like the American flag in a lefty batter's box right now. The 2-2 from Goebel, up and away, ball 3, as Stewart's worked it full. Goebel needed just 6 pitches to get out of that first inning, and now he's immediately thrown 5 to this first hitter here in the second. The 3-2 pitch from Goebel, shot right back up the middle. Rowley gets a hand on this one, corrals it in, fires to first, past Armstrong it goes, right into the Mohawk dugout. Taggart was there as backup, and the Mohawks have their leadoff guy on here in the second. We'll see whether they score that as a hit or an error. They do indeed go error, so Brody Rowley takes his first fielding error of the summer here in Oneonta. Should have been a clean play. Raleigh had him beat, plenty of time, but just kind of airmailed that throw as we go down to Cade Latterhoff playing first base for this Mohawks team. Latterhoff swinging from the right side, gets brushed back off the plate with a pitch in. Latterhoff hitting .381 through the first 5 games, so playing in his 6th consecutive, 8 for 21 in total, as Goebel shook off Taggart, came in with that one as it's a called strike. So the count does go to 1-1 here on Latterhoff. Taggart, a second consecutive start with a different catcher, as he had Darren Dangler behind the plate the other night, 1-1. Sent into the gap in left center field. Drifting over goes Harrison. Falls in for a hit. Turning, heading for third. Going to be Stewart. Throw comes in. Bateman, gun throw to the plate. Taggart lays it down and they call out at home. It is a 7-5-2 relay to gun down Stewart at home. But Latterhoff gets into second. So it'll now be 1 out. And a runner at second for the Mohawks. As they'll give a single and advancement on the throw. So Latterhoff down at second, and up comes Jake Sparts. Sparts just 143 on the summer so far as that sails up and away. Ball 1. Certainly an interesting call by the Mohawk third base coach to send Stewart around on that one. Hate to see first potential run get gunned down at home as that one broke in middle of the zone for a strike. So it goes to 1-1 as Goebel really showing off the breaking pitches here in the second inning. Goebel has a 5-pitch arsenal as he takes a quick look down to second. Shook off Taggart, 1-1, swing and a miss as Sparks whiffed on the fastball. Count will be 1-2 with still 1 out here in the second. Dancing off second base is Latterhoff as the storm clouds have drifted into Amsterdam. Elevator shot and foul ground third base side. Bateman ran out of room as it just clears the ballpark. There's lots of space and foul ground on the third baseline in Amsterdam to keep it in the ballpark. As Bateman had some room to the left of the dugout over there. There's a little split between the tree line. Obviously, you can't see it on our still shot here of our infield. But there's a little gap in there that also juts out as part of the ballpark. So Bateman just barely running out of room here and trying to make the out catch. 1-2 is Goebel going to come set. Fires it in, up and away. Ball 2. Taggart jumped up. Was looking for a throw down to second if he had to make one. So we were looking at the forecast the entire ride up here on the bus. We checked it probably 4 or 5 different times. Each time it said light rain expected probably towards the middle of the game. We hope it ends up being nothing more than that or maybe holds entirely as the 2-2 up and away again from Goebel as it goes full. Michael O'Brien, the center fielder, going to be up behind Sparts in this bottom of the second inning. Sparts only 2 for 14 on the summer thus far. Going to be heading into his freshman year at Marshall as he's been hitless over the last 2 games here for the Mohawks. Swing and a miss as Goebel going to send him down. That'll be the second out of this second inning. And the first strikeout of the game for Jordan Goebel. So up indeed will come Michael O'Brien, who takes his first trip to the plate here for Keith Griffin. With this Mohawks team down 7-0 to the visiting Oneonta Outlaws. O'Brien going to lay off this one as it sailed in tight for ball 1. O'Brien out there in center field with a little bit of a shallower part to man compared to some of the parts you'll see here in the PGCBL. 6'1", 190 is O'Brien, one of those 4 lefties in the lineup. Heading to play at Mississippi State next year as he sends this one high into the air towards right field. Moises drifting over as it fell in the seating area as it'll go 1-1. Looked like O'Brien just kind of got underneath that one, clipped it a bit too soon. As I said, a little shallower dimensions here in Amsterdam. As you only got 289 to the corners and 330 to dead center here at Shuttleworth. So 2-1 will be the count on Michael O'Brien. Bottom half of the second, runner at second is Ladahog. Goebel looking to get out of this second inning as he sends the 2-1 right down the middle of the plate, skied up on the infield. Bateman going to wave off his shortstop, and he brings it down for the out. So it'll be a P5 as Bateman waves off Harden, and the Mohawks strand another on base. We go to the top of the third here at Shuttleworth Park, and it remains a 7-0 Outlaws lead. Welcome back to Amsterdam. Top half of the third. Oneonta back to the plate, and it'll be 5, 6, 7 up in the Outlaw order here in this third inning. It'll be Colton Harrison to lead off the inning for the Outlaws. He was hit by a pitch on a 1-0 his first time up, and now hoping he can get a chance to put bat on ball and keep this Outlaw offense rolling after a goose egg in the second. Lays off the first pitch as it's ball one. Kuzmid certainly coming in with some high heat out of this bullpen. Trying to mow the Outlaws down, keep this bullpen without using too many arms in this one ahead of back-to-back road games the next 2 nights. Count going to move to 2-0, or at least I think. We didn't see a arm go up from our home plate umpire, but they do have 1-1 up on the scoreboard. Is this pitch up and away again? So they put it as 2-1, which is where we'll put it. 2-1 going to be the count on Harrison. Brody Raleigh waiting on deck here for the Outlaws. Is the 2-1 from Kuzmic. Called strike. So a called strike. And it'll be 2-2. Looks like our scorekeeper added an extra ball up there as well, but nonetheless, it counts 2-2 here on Harrison. Kuzmic with a pitch. Harrison high in the sky out towards right field, coming on in. Eldred makes a play for the out. Excuse me. A little bit of a tongue twister, I guess. Say that Harrison skied the ball to right field. It's an F9 here for the Outlaws to lead off the third. And up to the plate will come Brody Raleigh. Brody Raleigh, a little bit shy of the Mendoza line in his first season here as an Outlaw last year. His comeback looked poised as he gets drilled by the first one. And he'll immediately get first base. Looked like it clipped him on that left hip. As we'll add the base runner at first for you. 1 down, runner at first. Here in a 7-0 Outlaws score on the road. Oneonta looking for their 4th consecutive win, something we talked about on Outlaws game day earlier today. Be a first time since July 15th to 19th, 2021, as that misses the zone. Ball 1 to Moises. Moises, the right fielder tonight for Keaton Mark and Josiah Asker, drew a walk his first time up on a full count. It was a curveball, wouldn't break over the plate. On the run, going on in. Harrison, throw, safe they call. Excuse me, that's Brody Raleigh. But nonetheless, a stolen bag here for Oneonta, and the count goes to 1-1. Brody Raleigh with his first of the summer in that department. Moises going to set up with that left foot close to the home plate chalk line. Kind of kicks the right foot back a little bit. Plenty of motion when he's in the batter spots. Long, quick glance down to second. Raleigh halfway off the bag as Moises couldn't connect. Fanning on the fastball right down the heart of the plate. So it goes to 1-2 on Marco Moises here in this top of the third inning for Oneonta. First and third are open, and the Mohawks are set up in double play defense. Not that they could really turn one with a runner at second as Moises going to go down. Took a big hack, and he once again whiffs. So there'll be 2 away here in this third inning. As Jesse Kuzmic has started to make quick work of this Oneonta order. And now the only guy who's gotten a hit off him so far since he's come out of the pen, going to set himself up in the batter's box. Armstrong was the first batter that Kuzmic faced. Now fires the throw down there. Raleigh back in with that right hand. Sometimes it's all a matter of keeping that base runner honest. Don't think Kuzmic thought that he could get Raleigh, but every so often you catch a base runner off guard. Hoping he could do that. There's 2 away here for Chase Armstrong. All orange cleats, as you, of course, can't wear regular cleats tonight. Got to wear the moldeds, having the turf infield here in Amsterdam. Something that a lot of PGCBL teams aren't accustomed to when they come in here to Ralph Family Stadium. Right on the liner to first as Ladehoff didn't even have to move. Just kind of left his feet to snarl that one in the glove to retire Chase Armstrong and strand Brody Raleigh down there at second. So the Outlaws going to get a runner on base courtesy of the hit by pitch in Raleigh. He swipes the bat but gets stuck down there at second. Bottom of the third coming up. When we come back, we'll take our first look at the game at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard. And Goebel going to get his third inning on the bump. 7-0 Oneonta, bottom of the third, coming up next. Bottom of the third inning from Ralph Family Stadium here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. The Oneonta Outlaws put up a 7 spot in the first inning, and so far since then we have been scoreless. Amsterdam hoping they can change that as they send 8-9-1 to the plate here in this third inning to face Jordan Goebel. Leading things off going to be Sebastian Haran playing left field as he takes a check swing. And home plate umpire going to call it a strike. Looking at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard out at Deathridge Park, top of the 5th inning, the Tarpscons leading Auburn 3-0. The 0-1 from Goebel up at the hands. It's ball 1. So Haran in an even count. Out at Watertown, 4-2 lead for the Rapids on the visiting Blue Sox, bottom of the third. Albany Athletics Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs was canceled in that exhibition as that one sent in foul ground on the third base side. It'll go to 1-2 on Huron. Manny Santos, the designated hitter, going to be up next, and then we go back to the top of the order and Pete Daniel, the shortstop. Batavia and Niagara Falls, top of the first at Sal Madley Stadium. They've got an 0-0 game. Boonville and Glens Falls tied 0-0, bottom of the first at Eastfield as Goble couldn't get that one to break through the strike zone. So it goes to 2-2 here on Huron. And they once again have the count incorrect on the scoreboard. And now they'll fix it. 2-2 as Goble broke it over the plate for a called strike three. Huron going to go down looking to lead off this third inning. And Goble has his second K. Certainly not the electric strikeout man that Cullen Condon is, but nonetheless, you love to get the strikeouts where you can get them, as Manny Santos will set up. Elmira and Geneva were supposed to play at McDonough Park at 7:05. They started in delay, but ultimately just went to canceled. As that'll be a called strike from Goble. Continues to pepper the zone as the count goes to 0-1. Mark and Asca, one thing that they stretch to the pitchers is get ahead and then you can experiment, because that's what this summer is for. You can work on things, new pitches, whatever. As the Albany Baseball Club and Socrates 0-0 game down there in Stallions land. Going to brush Santos off the plate as Goble. Count going to be 1-1 with one down. Came in high head level. Socrates with a 7-run mercy run rule game against the Albany Baseball Club the other day. That was Wednesday. Was a 16-2 final as the 1-1. Swing and a miss there. Santos going to fall behind 1-2. Here's where you'll see Goble work on that fifth pitch that he's been adding in the cutter. Goble's parents once again in the house here tonight as they were up at Glens Falls the other night. Watch his start. 1-2. Up and away, ball two. Coming up, I'm sure Goble will probably get a start at home at some point, but his first two starts coming away from Damaski Field. Only made one start in total last summer here as an Outlaw. As the 2-2 caught off the end of the bat, and Santos stays alive. Santos, a pitcher for this team, probably not going to be swinging a whole heck of a lot. 5'11", 175 is he. Hometown guy right here from Amsterdam. Is that one? Chopper to third. Bateman on the run, fire to Armstrong, gets past him to the screen. So Santos will stay put down there at first. My guess is they'll charge it as a hit, because it would have been a tough play for Bateman to get that one to first in time. Yes, indeed, they are going to put single. So Santos gets a hit here in the 9th spot in the order. It's the second single against Jordan Goble so far. First hit for Santos as he had started 0 for 6. They hope now that Pete Daniel can do something to try to get Santos running and try to get this offense started that's looked pretty lifeless here through the first 2 1/3 against the Outlaws' Jordan Goble. Check look down to first. Up high, but a called strike. As Goble going fastball to get that first strike on many of these Mohawk hitters. Daniel flew out to right field his first time up back in the first inning. It was the first pitch of the ball game thrown by Goble as well. There's another called strike on the fastball as Goble gets ahead on him, 0-2. Daniel has 4 multi-hit games already out of 5 for the Mohawks, including 2 in their 11-1 win against Glens Falls last night. Goble can't catch his man down there in Santos. Looking for straight 3 to get another K and get 2 outs on the board here in this third inning. Goble from the first base side, the 0-2, sent out of the ballpark on the first base line. Got over the seats in our boxes down there So we got plenty of boxes and plenty of picnic tables, plenty of everything here at Ralph Family Stadium at Shuttleworth Park. Great place to catch a ball game for the fam if you want to catch an Outlaws road game. Certainly great with their hospitality as well, as this one once again popped up in a foul ground, first baseline. So Daniels stays alive 0-2. It's pitch 5 coming up from Goebel. Goebel trying to keep this game moving right along on Gloversville night here at Shuttleworth Park. Tons of kids and their families from Gloversville School District out here tonight as the 0-2. Daniels, slow roller back towards Goebel on the one hop over to Armstrong gently as that's 1-3. So certainly not a characteristic night of Pete Daniel to start 0-2. Santos does get down to second, and so the Mohawks will have a runner in scoring position. Their first one at that with 2 outs here in this third inning. Their next guy to come to the plate going to be Zach Eldred, who just finished his senior year at Brockport. 6'3", 190. Plays both ways, both pitching and hitting. Drills the first pitch he sees out towards left field. Drifting back goes Harrison in the corner, past the foul pole. So the Outlaws get lucky on that one, as it'll be 0-1. Got our Mohawks broadcast crew sitting next to me talking about how close that one came to staying in the ballpark. It would have been off the wall, though, if it had stayed in a couple more feet to the right, as it certainly didn't have the height to get over that tall wall out in left field. Only place that the wall, not super tall, is from left center to right center gap all the way around left field and right field. Certainly pretty tall. Taller in left, though, as they got 3 rows of dashers out there, just 2 in right. The 0-1 from Goebel bounced for ball 1. So the count goes to 1-1 on Eldred from East Greenbush, so only about probably 25, 30 minutes or so from here. As Amsterdam and Albany certainly pretty close in proximity. Is the 1-1. Eldred sends it right back foul. So Goebel 1 strike away from getting out of this third inning. It's Santos who stands down there at second for the Mohawks, as they still trail the Outlaws by a 7-0 score. Outlaws back home tomorrow to play a doubleheader against the Albany Baseball Club. We'll start game 1 at 5 o'clock. Outlaws will be the visitors for game 1. Long look down to second, home with a 1-2. Not going to clip that lower corner like he wanted. Taggart and Goebel were talking before the game about how Goebel was looking to try to paint those outside corners, something that gave him some success at Herkimer this year. As he finishes the year at Herkimer, 2.84 ERA in 7 appearances. Drilled off the bat towards the gap in right center field. Charging back, the catch is made by Ross. And Goebel going to salute Jaden Ross out there on a job well done to get him out of the inning, as Goebel, I thought that one was gone. What a play by Jaden Ross to track that one down out there. We'll clear the base runners off as we go to the 4th inning. Goebel strands a Mohawk for the 2nd straight inning, and it's 7-0 Outlaws, as we're a third of the way through this one already. Top of the fourth inning. Welcome back to Outlaws YouTube. 7-0 score in favor of Oneonta after 3 innings of play. The Outlaws going to have 9-10-1 up in this fourth inning. Kuzmic going to stay out on the bump for the Amsterdam Mohawks as he has already gone 2+, and he has looked a little bit wild in his warm-up tosses ahead of this fourth inning. Jeremy Taggart, Jack Bateman, Tanner Harden, those guys in the 9-10-1 spot for the Outlaws as the back cover going to be flipped away by Taggart, who's looking for another hit here for Oneonta. He played against Socrates in the home opener last Friday, against Watertown on Tuesday, and it was against the Rapids that he got his first hit, and he's hungry for more. And talking to him in the clubhouse today before we got on the bus and came up here to East Field. He's using the blue bat on the road here tonight, something we've yet to see from him. As the first pitch of the inning, drilled in the air, gonna get in a foul ground, hits the roofing of the suites on the first baseline as it's 0-1. Taggart grounded out 5-3 in the first inning. He has struck out 4 times already, a number that he's got to cut down moving forward. Breaking pitch, clip the upper inside corner, so it goes 0-2. The Outlaws put up 7 runs in the first inning. They chased Augusto before he could even register an out, making his second start of the summer here for Keith Griffin. 0-2 pitch, Taggart check swing. They say he came around. So Taggart sent down for the first out of this top of the fourth. And up will come Bateman. Bateman's second trip to the plate tonight, both of which have been against Kuzmic, as he only faced the top 7 in the outlaw order before he was pulled. Came up high at the hands, but a called strike nonetheless. Is Bateman going to try to settle himself in here? It was a 2-2 pitch he struck out on his first time up. Kuzmic already up to 5 strikeouts, topping his total of 3 against Watertown. Slow chopper over to third. Sparts on the 1-hop, fires to first in time. So it's 5-3, as it's a great read from Sparts to get it to Ladahoff, who had to stretch a little bit to haul that one in. To the top of the order will go for the Outlaws, as it'll be Tanner Harden for the 3rd time already here in this ball game in just the 4th inning. Kuzmic certainly made quick work of this Outlaw team, as he's only allowed 2 guys on base since coming in relief. He allowed that Chase Armstrong bases clearing triple, and he hit Brody Rowley, skyrocketed on the infield. Sparts underneath it for the out, as that'll be a P5 on the first pitch to Tanner Harden. So we go to the bottom of the 4th as the Outlaws go down 1-2-3 here in this 4th inning. It stays 7-0 Oneonta. Outlaws go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th, back at Shuttleworth Park, bottom of the 4th here at Ralph Family Park at Shuttleworth in Amsterdam. It's a 7-0 Outlaws lead, as it's 3-4-5 in the Mohawks order here in this frame. It slowly started to get darker and darker here in Amsterdam. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Jordan Goebel back out for his 4th inning on the bump. He only went super deep in a game once for Herkimer this spring, and it was his last outing as he threw a complete game against Genesee Community College May 18th. As that one in the opposite batter's box for ball 1 to start the inning. Jansen Natilli, one of 7 catchers on this Amsterdam roster, but one of just 2 in town here for Keith Griffin here in still this first week of the season. Count goes to 1-1 after that nice breaking curve from Goebel. This Mohawks team has had a lot of guys who've yet to roll in as the 1-1 sprayed high in the air towards center field. Charging back on the track, brought underneath it is Ross. So it has started to rain here in Amsterdam. As everybody not sitting underneath the roof starts to pull their hoods up. So again, we'll see how that affects this game moving forward. Jordan Goebel is certainly not used to pitching in the rain. He's kind of having to wipe his hands between each pitch now to make sure that he doesn't let a ball get away from him. Aiden Stewart going to step in for the 2nd time here for the Mohawks. Swing and a miss as Stewart can't connect on that nice pitch right down Hollywood. It's like the rain's starting to pick up quickly, too, as it's starting to come down to a downpour. We'll see what it takes for them to go to rain delay here at Shuttleworth. As that one a called strike, 0-2 on Stewart. You'd hate to see the Outlaws have to go into rain delay after the start that they've had to this one on the road. There's 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. As Goebel's 0-2 going to sail out and away low. 1-2 it'll go on Stewart. People that aren't under cover here in Amsterdam going to start to find cover. As the 1-2 from Goebel in at the knees, ball 2. The umpires are going to call it here. We're going to head to rain delay at Shuttleworth Park after that 2-2 pitch from Goebel. A 7-0 lead for the Oneonta Outlaws. We will hang with you here on YouTube and not end our stream. So watch the rain here with us at Shuttleworth Park. It's a 2-2 count on Aiden Stewart's 7-0 lead for the Outlaws here on YouTube. Well, when they told us that the field drains quickly here in Amsterdam, they meant it. 2-2 count, 1 out. We're going to get right back to it here at Shuttleworth Park. Rain delay only lasts about 15, 20 minutes or so. I didn't time it, but certainly didn't last long. Aiden Stewart going to dig back in the box for the Mohawks. Jordan Goebel remains out on the hill for Oneonta. First pitch swinging. Out to center it goes. Ross underneath it for the out. So we'll score that as an L8 as it wasn't too high in the air. So 2 outs going to be on the board in this bottom of the 4th inning. And that's nice to see from Goebel that he pounds one right down the middle of the zone. And it gets sprayed out to center for now Kane Ladahoff for the Mohawks. It still is sprinkling a little bit here at Shuttleworth Park, but that massive downpour we had is over. Breaking pitch right down Main. And the count will go 0-1 on Ladahoff. He singled to the left center gap in his first at bat on a 1-1 count is the 0-1. Bit low for ball 1. Taggart was trying to frame that one to get the call, but just couldn't bring it up enough. Is Goebel going to look on home. The 1-1 with the bases empty. Good contact on that one as it's cranked foul. 1-2. So Goebel now 1 strike away from getting out of this 4th inning here on the road and holding the Mohawks scoreless for the first time through 4 innings here in 2024. This Mohawks team loves quick starts, but they certainly have not started quick tonight as the 1-2. Bouncing ball, going to get in the foul ground on the third baseline as Ladahoff stays alive. It'll be Jake Sparts up next for the Mohawks if they need him here in this 4th inning. Was going to talk to Dan and Josh a little bit, the Mohawks broadcast crew, during our long rain delay, as we're sharing the little Amsterdam press area up top here at Shuttleworth tonight. Appreciate their hospitality. As the 1-2 from Goebel, breaking pitch right down the middle, sent past a diving Harden into center field. And so Ladahoff going to have himself a single with 2 outs. It's just the 3rd hit against Goebel in this game, all of which have been singles. Jake Sparts, who struck out swinging his first time up back in the 2nd, going to come back to the dish. Sparts a lefty, 2 for 14 on the summer inning tonight, so now, of course, 2 for 15. As that fastball from Goebel going to be a bit high for ball 1. Goebel just seeming to send some of these pitches to the upper corner, trying to get that strike call. As we said, he's trying to come in here tonight with a game plan, paint those corners. Breaking pitch, a called strike as it goes 1-1 on Sparts. Goebel got that curve to float on in there and break nicely. Coach Griffin very animated in the Amsterdam dugout as advertised. It's the 1-1 on that lower outside corner of ball. 2-1 it goes on Jake Sparts. Michael O'Brien with that big gold chain swinging, hanging out in the on-deck circle for the Mohawks. Checklet to first Goebel. A couple of shakes off with Taggart 2-1. Right down the center of the zone out to right. This one's carrying bat. Moises racing for it. Ross can't find this one. It falls in the right center gap. Turning third, Ladahoff. Cruising in the 2nd is Sparts. And the Mohawks are on the board here in the 4th. So it'll be a stand-up RBI double for Sparts, as it looked like that one was carrying to right and then just kind of drifted over to the gap. And neither Moises nor Ross was ready for it as Keaton Mark comes out to talk to Jordan Goebel. He's going to clap. We'll see if this means the ball going to get taken from him. They are looking down to the Outlaw bullpen, so it looks like Goebel's day not going to be done just yet, but the leash will be short here in this 4th inning. They were certainly hoping they could get some distance out of Goebel in this ball game tonight with having to cover 14 frames tomorrow night down at Damaski. Once again, it is a doubleheader at Oneonta tomorrow night. And it's free entry sponsored by the Oneonta Elementary School's PTO. So make sure you come join us. It'll be the first and only meetings of 2024 against the Albany Baseball Club for Oneonta. It's just 2 of 46 games against that Albany squad. We were supposed to play them in a game yesterday up at U-Albany, but with the weather conditions and having a hard time securing field time up there, the Albany Baseball Club just opting to give the Outlaws the home doubleheader. As Goebel couldn't locate that one, it goes for ball 1 to O'Brien. So the runner now at second base is Sparts after his RBI double. Goebel trying to get out of this inning. Outlaw bullpen has once again died down as it moves 2-0 on O'Brien. O'Brien popped out to third his first time up in this shallow infield at Shuttleworth Park. Another long glance down to second, home with the 2-0, in tight at the knees, going to get away from Taggart as Sparts advances to third on a wild pitch. So that's the first wild pitch of the game. Excuse me, they're going to say that clipped him. My apologies. So they're actually going to leave Sparts down there at second. And to first, down goes O'Brien. So it looks like we are indeed going to see a call to the bullpen as Mark shakes Goebel's hand, takes the ball. He makes it through 3 2/3 tonight, but the Mohawks going to have runners at first and second, which he's responsible for, and the first Outlaws call to the bullpen tonight when we come back here on Outlaws YouTube. Well, Joel Hayner comes out of the Outlaw bullpen with 2 outs, and he throws a few warm-up tosses, but not before we once again go to rain delay here in Amsterdam. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. The Mohawks will have runners at first and second, with now the ball being taken from Jordan Goebel. When we come back, Joel Hayner going to take things over for the pitching staff for the Outlaws. But now, watch the rainfall with us once again here at Shuttleworth Park. This downpour a little bit heavier than the last. So hang around. Second rain delay of the evening already. Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam. It's now a 7-1 Outlaws score. Welcome back to Amsterdam, bottom of the fourth inning. The traditionalists say how many lits does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, and tonight we're going to say how many rain delays does it take to get through a baseball game. 2 outs in this bottom of the fourth inning, and it's runners at first and second for the Amsterdam Mohawks is Joel Hayner, who we're about to introduce when we went to the rain delay, out here on the bump. He's got a 1-0 record as he did get the W on the mound against Glens Falls Monday night. Is his first pick going to be a called strike as he went with the fastball. It's Sebastian Haran who's at the dish for the Glens Falls Dragons. He struck out looking his first time up back in the third as the Mohawks have put together their first long inning against Outlaws pitching tonight as they had forced Jordan Goebel out of the ball game just before this rain delay. The 0-1 check swing, and he pulled it back because it'll be 1-1. Jade Sparks, the man down at second, had that RBI double before the rain delay. If you're just dropping by to join us, O'Brien stands on first, courtesy of a hit by pitch as the 1-1 swing and a miss as Hayner went to the high speed. So Hayner 1 strike away from getting out of this inning as he's the first guy once again to relieve Jordan Goebel out of the bullpen just as he was Monday night up at Glens Falls. Goebel went 1 2/3 Monday night, and then Hayner threw the next 2 1/3. Hayner a little checklet down to second, home with the 1-2. Called strike 3. Joel Hayner gets the Outlaws out of the inning with a good strike 3 call. So the Mohawks going to strand a pair on base, and we will go to the top of the fifth in Amsterdam in this 7-1 Outlaws score. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park, top of the fifth inning. Leading off for the Outlaws, Jaden Ross took a big hack and couldn't connect as he'll fall behind 0-1. It's 2-3-4 for the Outlaws in this inning. Ross is 0 for 1 with a walk, and he did score back in that first inning scoring frenzy for the Outlaws. As that one a called strike on the upper outside corner, 0-2. Jesse Kuzmic back out for his fifth inning in this top of the fifth, as he didn't even start this one, as this one sent in foul ground. Seems like it's been all so long ago. It's 6:45 when the first pitch was sent to Tanner Harden for ball 1 by Justus Augusto. Augusto didn't even record an out before he was taken out for Kuzmic, as that one sails in high for a ball as it goes to 1-2 here on Ross. Ross, a very patient guy in the box in this two spot in the outlaw order. 1-2, Ross high in the air to right field. Eldred drifting in, lays out for the catch. That was a great catch by Eldred. Got to give it to him out there in right field for this first out of the 5th inning. We did have a new first baseman come in for the Amsterdam Mohawks in between innings as Drake DiGiorno, now over there wearing number 3, just wrapped up his junior year at Utah. He's one of only 4 guys on this Mohawks roster who is not entering his freshman year, just having completed his freshman year or beginning his sophomore year, as that's a strike. And I know that might be confusing for you, but what I mean to say in other terms is the fact that this Mohawks team does not have a lot of veteran leadership. Glossa with a 1 bounce, picked it short by Daniel, fired over to DiGiorno for the out. It goes 6-3 as they get Glossa in 2 pitches. And Kuzmic continues to make quick work of this outlaw lineup. As we told you back in that 4th inning, only 2 guys have reached base since Kuzmic came out of this Amsterdam bullpen. There's 2 away in the 5th, and down we go to Jack Hopko for the 3rd time. Hopko 1 for 2 in the ball game for the Outlaws thus far, working from the first base side, the kick for a called strike. That one clipped out lower outside and away corner. Is Hopko taking a couple light swings in the box as he waits. The 0-1 sails high and away, ball 1 as it'll go even. This Mohawks team hoping they can get back to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning and start to get some offense strung together to attacking on that run in the bottom of the 4th. As that one misses the plate, it'll go 2-1 on Hopko. Hopko drove in 2 back in that 1st inning as he brought Ross and Glossa around. Skies this one into left field. Drifting over, Harden underneath it for the out. So a big fly ball from Hopko, and the Outlaws once again go down 1-2-3 for the 2nd consecutive inning. We are halfway home in Amsterdam on this Friday night, bottom of the 5th. Next up is the Outlaws lead this thing 7-1. (9-1-2) for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Back at Shuttleworth we come here on Outlaws YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do today at Oneonta Outlaws PGCBL here on YouTube, because all games, home and road, with the exception of our 3 trips to Mohawk Valley, streamed right here for you the remainder of the summer. Manny Santos leading things off. First pitch swinging on the line out to Jack Bateman, who lunged out to grab that one. About left his feet if he had to. But a beauty of a play for Bateman to catch that one. It turns things back over to the top of the order for the Mohawks. Is Pete Daniel, the shortstop who's committed to Belmont, going to settle himself in there. Joel Hayner trying to work things out and get some key outs of this Outlaw bullpen. As once again, we remind you, this Oneonta team has 14 innings to cover tomorrow with the doubleheader against the Albany Baseball Club at home starting at 5. 0-1 from Hayner. Out to that left center gap. The Outlaws infielders were pinched over, so that one rolls all the way back to the wall. Daniel, no problem, going to have a double, and the Mohawks are in business here in the 5th. He shoots that 0-1 fastball from Hayner. In between Harrison and Ross. It was like an equidistant hit, and so Daniel in scoring position. It's the top of this Mohawk order. Zach Eldred will come up next. He's 0 for 2 already in this ball game. 3 unassisted put away, so it was to Chase Armstrong who took it to the bag himself in the 1st, and then a fly out to center in the 3rd. Is Daniel dancing off second, trying to test the throw. Is Taggart able to keep that one in front? It goes 1-0. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning here at Shuttleworth Park. Crazy game thus far as we've already gone to rain delay twice. Been almost 2 hours since our first pitch was thrown. Is that one going to break for that lower outside corner for a strike? 1-1 is Hayner looking for a couple more strikes to get his first punch out since he ended that 4th inning on one. 1-1, swing and a miss as Hayner goes with gas down the middle of the zone. So Hayner looking for another K here coming out of this Outlaw pen. First guy out of the pen for Keaton Mark, Jordan Goebel, with a start going 3 1/3. Up and away that goes as it's ball 2. There have been quite a few people who have left Shuttleworth Park, especially after that rain delay, but still quite a big crowd here. They say the capacity in this place is 3,000. Would say probably between half and 3/4 full right now after the sellout crowd to begin the night. The 2-2 broke over the zone, sent up foul. Is Eldred playing plate defense with that one. Daniel dance off that bad down there at second. We hope we can get ourselves a packed house at Damaski tomorrow as it's free admission, sponsored by the Oneonta Elementary Schools PTO. Daniel, big long lead at second, 2-2, up and away once more from Hayner. It goes full. Goebel worked himself into a couple of full counts. Back in the 2nd inning, 3 in total. Did Goebel see full counts? All of which were in the 2nd. There's a 3-2 from Hayner. Back to the screen it comes as he just can't send him away. 8th pitch coming up to Zach Eldred in the 2 spot in this Mohawk order. Amsterdam, we talked about it with Josiah Azka on our pregame and the interview posted on Facebook and Instagram, but this team rarely ever loses at home. Just 7 times have they lost here since the start of the 22 season. Swing and a miss as Hayner puts him down. That goes for out number 2, and now Hayner looking for one more out to get out of this 5th inning jam. Jetson Natali gonna roll on into the box. Even keel stance as they didn't clear the pitch count off that last one as Natali tips it away foul. 0-1's the count. Natali has bat-to-bat flyouts to center field in this ball game in the 1st and 4th respectively. Hoping that he can prevent himself from starting the ball game 0-3. As Hayner working from the first base side and now really wet rubber. To second base, rolls through the legs of Raleigh to right. Turning third, Daniel cruising around to score. And it's going to be a 7-2 game as Natali's got a ribby. Good placement for Jetson Natali. Going to come up in a big way. They do give that a single, which I would have been very unhappy if they had given an error to Brody Raleigh on that play. And sometimes you see plays like that happen. Raleigh was on it, but it rolled through his legs. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt, considering this first time the Outlaws have played on turf, and of course, now playing on wet turf. You don't know how that really affects the ball spin as well. It's 0-1 on Aiden Stewart, who's the 4-hole hitter in the Mohawk order. There's 2 away in this inning, and they changed it to an error on Raleigh. So Brody Raleigh gets his second error of the game as this 0-1, Raleigh and Armstrong charging in. Armstrong brings it down. And that an out. So there's 2 away in this inning. I apologize. Is Aiden Stewart up in the box here for Amsterdam. So runner still at first. And a big lead as that comes up and away for ball 1. Stewart wearing that all blue batting helmet in the box for Amsterdam. As they have runs on the board and back-to-back innings up and away. That goes ball 2. Throw down to second, not going to be in time. Is the stolen bag taken by Jetson Natali. So good stolen bag on that one. Is this one right to third? Hit off the shoulder, picked up Bateman to first. Gonna hold it. He was looking over to first, able to keep it in front, which you like to see. As it'll be runners at the corner, and they give an error to Bateman. Come on. That was a hard hit ball that Bateman kept in front. These Amsterdam scorers giving no mercy to the Outlaws tonight. So 2 errors in this inning, and it's runners at the corners. Certainly think that might be some words to be had between the scorers and the Outlaw coaching staff at this one. As that's a strike to Cade Ladahoff. That's far from ideal if you're Oneonta to have 2 errors in this inning. Joel Hayner trying to get out of the jam. Is that one tipped right back foul, 0-2. Hayner 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. First and third of the Mohawks as they've now scored in back-to-back frames. Hayner a little quick lootsy home. Skyrocketed towards center field. Ross waving off, and he's able to bring it down for the out. He waved off Moises for that one and corralled it in the glove as the Mohawks will strand a pair, but not before a run crosses the plate. Top of the 6th inning coming up in Amsterdam. It is 7-2 Outlaws. Well, we'll see if the Outlaws can put balls in play in the 6th inning if the scoring goes both ways. They give 2 errors to the Outlaw defense in the bottom of the 5th on 2 hard-hit balls that, sure, that Brody Raleigh one could have gone both ways, but nonetheless, it took an odd bounce and rolled through his legs. And then the one at third by Bateman, I don't know how you score that as an error. First pitch swinging, taken right to the bag. It'll be 3 unassisted to retire Colton Harrison to start this 6th inning. There is a new pitcher on the hill for Amsterdam, as we'll introduce you here in just a moment. It's Manny Santos, the righty, 5'11", 175 hometowner. So he lines out to third base in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and then he comes out to pitch here on the top of the 6th for this shorthanded Mohawk roster. Breaking pitch, a called strike right down the middle of the plate on Brody Raleigh. I really feel for Raleigh after that last inning with that error. I think everybody in the Outlaw dugout thought it was a hit, as that goes for ball 1, and things are even keeled at 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. 7-2 is our score here in the 6th inning. Santos the delivery. Called strike. Raleigh falls down in the count, and now Santos probably going to get creative. This is his first pitching appearance of the summer for this Mohawks team. Has appeared in a couple of games as a hitter before tonight. 1-2. Called strike 3 as he rings up Raleigh. Brody not even going to offer it. That one goes down swinging, and there's 2 away here quickly for Santos in the 6th. Marco Moises, the right fielder, 0 for 1 with a walk in the ball game. He walked in the 1st, came around to score, struck out swinging in the 3rd, and now looking to get something going for Oneonta. Sends that one up foul over the tree line. Moises will trail quickly, 0-1, getting underneath a fastball against the 3rd straight pitcher that he has faced. He was the last guy to face the starter of the game in Augusta. It seems like the leash was pulled on way so long ago. Didn't even make it through an out before being pulled out of this one. The 1-1. Moises once again sent up into the trees, foul on that third base line. So Santos 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning. It would be the 3rd inning in a row that the Outlaws have gone down 1-2-3. Santos going to call time and steps off. Santos going to kick and deliver the 1-2. Moises sent up. Could have a play on this one. Sparks makes the play just to the left of the Oneonta bullpen area. It'll be a P5 to get him out of this inning. Santos, the tip of the cap to his third baseman, as that was a job well done. Bottom of the 6th inning we go in Amsterdam. 7-2, Outlaws lead. have a highlight reel catch in the top half of the inning. Now come to the plate to lead off the bottom half of the sixth. Amsterdam back up. They've scored in 2 consecutive frames. Sparks first pitch swinging. That one will leave the ballpark. Everybody for the Outlaws was kind of drifting over. Bateman, Harrison, Harden. We're all taking a look at it as it goes 0-1 on the leadoff guy in Sparks here to begin the sixth. It's Sparks, O'Brien, Haran here for the Mohawks this inning. Hayner back out there as the 0-1 skied out towards center field. Ross coming over in the left center. Gap gives way to Harrison for the first out. Colton Harrison, an infielder by trade, doesn't play a ton of outfield, but staying in the lineup tonight for Keaton Mark and Josiah Asco, willing to go out there to left field. It's another thing, Brody Raleigh, he's a great team player guy, doesn't play a lot of infield, but to get his bat in the lineup and get his presence out there, he's playing second as they try bunt. And O'Brien couldn't get it down in fair territory. He'll trail 0-1 to Hayner. We talked about it being 710 days since the last time the Outlaws beat the Mohawks. Joel Hayner did not come to Oneonta last summer, but 2 summers ago, he was a part of this Outlaw roster, and he did pitch in that game the last time the Outlaws defeated the Mohawks, which was way back when on Wednesday, June 29th of 22. Count will go even at 1 ball and a strike. Sebastian Haran and Manny Santos going to be up behind O'Brien. As the 1-1 in at the knees, ball 2. So O'Brien will set his left foot up closer to the plate. 2-1 the count with 1 out. Bottom 6 with his team down 5. Shoots this one up foul. As another one will leave the ballpark. These Mohawks having a hard time keeping baseballs in the ballpark in foul territory. And I'm sure they'll go looking for these baseballs after the game because it's not like they're cheap. Buying a baseball, even if you go to Walmart, it costs $6-7 nowadays. Hayner will step off and now regroup. We were supposed to get more rain, not that I'm trying to play jinx, about 20 minutes after that last shower, and it is yet to come. Slow bouncer to short. Harden going to pick up, fires to first, and Armstrong can't hold it in. We'll see what they score this one as. Seems like the scores in Amsterdam love errors. So we'll see if they give another one. They are indeed going to give an error. It's getting a little frustrating in that regard, as that's now 4 errors in the field for Oneonta, 3 of which have been plays that could have gone either way. Oneonta went errorless against Boonville on Wednesday, and now this Amsterdam score has given them 4 here tonight on the road. We're still just in the 6th. Taggart with a gun throw down to second. Not going to be in time. Was pretty close, trying to nail down O'Brien, who immediately had a quick jump. Counts 1-0 on Sebastian Haran. This Mohawks team only batting 9 to Oneonta's 10. And this Mohawks bullpen has absolutely silenced the Outlaws after they put up 7 in that first inning. Hayner, quick check look, home with the pitch. Called strike right down Main as it'll go back even 1-1. Another quick glance down the second. 7-2 lead do the Outlaws have. Bullpen still quiet here for Oneonta, so Hayner's just going to keep on tossing. 1-1 pitch. Bulleted out towards center. Ross going to take a few steps in. Caught underneath it. O'Brien's not going to test his arm as that one fired back. And Harden was right there. Made sure it didn't get away. So it'll be bat-to-bat flyouts here in the 6th inning. Sandwiched between that what they scored here in Amsterdam is the E3. Manny Santos lined out to third base to begin the 5th inning. As this Mohawks team hoping they don't strand another runner in scoring position. This team has left 6 on base in this ball game already as Hayner steps off. Officials looked like they potentially might have gone for the block call on Hayner, but instead gonna give him a quick nod as he goes right to it and paints that upper corner for a strike. Santos 1 for 1 in the ball game as he singled in the 3rd, lined out to 3rd, back in the 5th. Swing and a miss as Santos down to his final strike. Hayner trying to get out of the inning and send the Outlaws to the 7th. Amsterdam would have top of the order up in the 7th, so you might see another Outlaw bullpen arm. 0-2, and it's a run and gun play. Turning 3rd, O'Brien was running on the strike call. As he cruises in the score, it's 7-3. So 3 straight innings have the Mohawks scored, and you certainly hope that this isn't a sign of things to come. Here for this Oneonta team. As you saw a game earlier this week against Watertown where this team trailed early 5-1, rallied back to score 11 of the last 14 in the game. And now, of course, they jump out to the 7-0 advantage and have given up 3 in a row. The baseball gods just have not been kind to Oneonta on the road here tonight thus far. A bunt laid down. Hayner charges in, fields, fires to first in time. That'll be a 1-3 to retire Pete Daniel. And Hayner gives up another, but it's still a 4-run lead for your Outlaws as we go to the top of the 7th here on the road. Outlaws 7-3 score. Welcome back to the Champs Lair, top of the 7th inning here on Outlaws YouTube. 7-3 lead for Oneonta, and it's 8-9-10 up in the Outlaw order. First pitch swinging, Armstrong going to tip it back foul as he'll trail 0-1. We got a new pitcher for the Amsterdam Mohawks, their fourth of the evening, as it's Parker Aikens. 6'0", 160, he's a lefty. Outlaws have not seen a lot of lefty pitchers thus far, and they're hoping they can get something going against this one. Is that one going to be in at the knees? Ball one. Nisquanna, New York is where Parker Aikens is from, in case you were curious. He does have a 1-0 record entering tonight as he threw the 7th inning against Mohawk Valley back on Tuesday. In the Mohawks' one-run victory that night, 9-8. 1-1 pitch from Aikens, up and away, ball two. So Aikens walked one in that inning that he had the other night, but then got a double play from his defense, only had to face three. Is another up and away, going to make it 3 balls and a strike. Here in this top of the 7th for Chase Armstrong. Armstrong had that triple that cleared the bases in the first inning, and since then, Oneonta's bats have gone ice cold. Up and away, but they call it a strike. Armstrong thought he had the walk, but he's going to be back in there for a full count pitch from Aikens. Oneonta going to play a doubleheader at home tomorrow as the 3-2 from Aikens. Up and away it sails, ball 4. So back-to-back ball 4 is thrown, and Armstrong gets the call to go his way the second time. He flips the bat away and is on base for the second of 3 trips up tonight. Jeremy Taggart will roll up next for Oneonta. Once again, he's flexing that bright blue bat end tonight for the first time. Armstrong with a big lead off first, trying to get to second quickly as possible. Taggart takes a strike on the fastball, so he's down 0-1. Josiah Azka really talked about it in our pregame coaches interview today, but he's sending these guys the second he gets the opportunity if he thinks they can go. First practice of the year, this Outlaws team did start and stop times, not start and start times, but start and stop times to see how quick they could get from first to second. Sometimes it's just a matter of watching the pitcher a couple of times, seeing how fast you can send guys to get down there to second base. And Josiah Azka has a prime view in that first base coaching box. 0-1, Taggart a big swing, couldn't connect. He falls 0-2. There's still nobody out here against Aikens. Second and third are open. Taggart hoping he can connect on one and take it for a ride, though, on this shallow Shuttleworth Park. Starting to sprinkle a little bit here at Shuttleworth Park again. Is the 0-2, swing and a miss. Taggart down on strikes. So that's the first out against Aikens. As this Outlaws team struggling to see where the southpaw going to get those pitches to go. It is a nice kind of rotation here at the bottom of the Outlaw order as you got lefty, righty, lefty. So it tests Aikens a bit as he tried to get Armstrong and can't down there at first. We're in the 7th inning here at Shuttleworth Park. It's the first of 4 meetings between the Outlaws and Mohawks this year. Next one going to be next Thursday down at Oneonta. Kick in there for a called strike. We'll turn around and play back here at Amsterdam next Saturday night. So 2 meetings next week, and 3 of the 4 are going to be done early in the year between Oneonta and Amsterdam, as then the Mohawks and Outlaws not going to play again until Saturday, July 13th, down at Oneonta as Bateman sent up foul, and he'll be behind 0-2 here with 1 down. Our scoreboard looks like having some issues now as they have the 7 on the scoreboard for the Outlaws, but nothing else, which, hey, you can't complain about, you know. 7-0 lead, which seems like quite a long time ago that the Outlaws had that. Now as the Mohawks have put up a run in each of the last 3 bottom halves of innings. Aikens will step off here with a count in his favor, 0-2. Armstrong a big lead down there at first. Trying to draw a throw from Parker Aikens. He has a primetime look at first. Armstrong on the move. Bateman back to the screen. Armstrong got there, but he'll be sent back. Is after the Outlaws retired here in this top half of the 7th, we will stretch at Shuttleworth Park. We've already been going for over 2.5 hours, but we have had 2 rain delays in the middle of everything tonight. 2 rain delays probably lasted about 20 minutes each, so it certainly made our game a lot longer tonight. Long look down to first. Luckily, the Outlaws going to be home tomorrow. Is that one in the letters, but it's ball 1. Looked like a good pitch for Bateman to hit if he had brought his bat around in time. The bat speed, certainly something, though, that Bateman's trying to work on here this summer. Didn't get many plate appearances this spring at Holy Cross. As we'll get a meeting of the minds, Natalie going out to talk to Parker Akins. So Oneonta Elementary School's PTO giving you a chance to come on out and enjoy Outlaws baseball for free tomorrow. It's free entry for both games. Happy hour sponsored by Omnigan Brewery. Going to go from 4 to 5. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll have first pitch of game 1. Tomorrow, also a big day in the sports world, is it's game 1 of the Stanley Cup final. Armstrong, quick dance off of first base is the 1-2. Bouncing ball and foul ground past Keaton Mark. Keaton Mark, certainly an early season dark horse for PGCBL Coach of the Year. The man has certainly taken this Oneonta program to new heights since taking over last year. He's a great coach, but an even better person. As Bateman tips this one back. It is a drop third strike, but he's going to get down to first. And so it'll be first and second year for Oneonta with still just 1 out. So Bateman, they're just going to call him out. All right, so the runner advances over to second, and there's 2 outs. They put it in our scoring up here as K 2-3, but we didn't even get a throw. It's getting a little frustrating in some degrees with that tonight. As this one shot right back up the middle, one-hop Daniel over to first, bit low, but it's in time for the out. As it 6-3 to retire Tanner Harden at the top of the Outlaw order. As once again, this Oneonta lineup cannot come up with a run as they have been held ice cold for the last six innings at the plate. Bottom of the 7th coming up as we're stretching here in Amsterdam. It's 7-3 in favor of the Outlaws. Joel Hayner has now allowed a run in each of the last 3 innings for Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska, but their full trust is in him right now as the Outlaws do get an arm up and throwing in the bullpen. He's already gone 3 1/3, and now we begin the 7th as he sails one in for ball 1 to Zach Eldred. Zach Eldred has gone 0 for 3 in this ball game so far as he takes a strike from Hayner, who evens it back at 1-1. This Outlaw team has had a really weird night, all things considered, here on the road. We didn't get in here until about 6 o'clock, which was quite a bit later than we all anticipated and planned on. But we got here at 6 o'clock. We rushed in here. Everybody got warmed up. We got set up upstairs here, and there we were for our 6:45 start as Hayner now going to fall behind 2-1. Oneonta immediately shook off the bus fatigue, bus tiredness, whatever. There's a lot of guys sleeping on the bus ride up here to Amsterdam today and put 7 up as the 2-1. High in the air and foul ground, third baseline, clears the park, and it'll go 2-2 on Eldred. Since then, the Outlaws, over the course of the next 6 innings at the plate, have no hits and have just 3 total base runners. So if that says anything about the way this game has gone for Oneonta at the dish, there it is for you. Hayner couldn't sell that one as it goes 3-2, and he's looking for a strike call to go his way this time. Natali and Stewart going to be up behind Eldred as Hayner kicks with the 3-2, grounded towards second. Raleigh charges in, flips it to Armstrong, bit high, but it's in time as it goes 4-3 to retire Eldred for the first out of the 7th. And you like to see the efficiency here in this 7th inning, as you hope that that can continue for Joel Hayner to try to finish off this inning as well and keep another inning away from another arm and give Oneonta quite a bit of wiggle room, having to play 14 innings at the bare minimum tomorrow against Albany. Jansen Natali up now as that one, ball 1 from Hayner. Hayner, one of the more veteran guys on this Outlaw pitching staff, as he just concluded his junior season at Lynn, is the 1-0 pitch right down the middle of the zone, sent high towards left. Harrison drifting over, going to come underneath it for the out. So it's an F7 on the skyrocket, and there's 2 away here for Joel Hayner in the 7th quickly. Up will come Aiden Stewart as Hayner trying to send him down 1-2-3 for the first time since they went down 1-2-3 against Goebel way back when in the first. Those rain delays tonight certainly didn't help Goebel's rhythm. Is Goebel probably going to pick up another start in a couple of days? First pitch, Stewart swinging. Gets just over the trees in the left field corner. So Stewart falls, 0-1 in the count. If they need him, Cade Lanahoff waiting on deck here for Amsterdam. It's the 0-1, swing and a miss. As Hayner went to his curveball to get him swinging at that one. Hayner really efficient with both his fastball and his curveball. Now 1 strike away from sending him down 1-2-3. Not going to get that call on that lower outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hayner over towards that first base side of the rubber. The 1-2. Hammer just inside the line. They call foul. And I love the dramatic music here in Amsterdam after that one. That's funny. They play the dramatic dun dun dun. As Aiden Stewart certainly thought he had a hit, and just about everybody that remains in the seats here in Amsterdam thought Aiden Stewart had a hit. But the Outlaws said, no, 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 not so fast, buddy. And back to the box will come Aiden Stewart. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and now Hayner going to try to end things here. The delivery once again won't get the call on that lower outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is with 2 away. is Hayner looking on ready. Fires home. Foul down that third baseline. Nothing to contest there as that one was in foul ground. No case to plead. Two balls, two strikes, two outs. Joel Hayner trying to make it 4 1/3. And yes, indeed, there it is. He rings up Aiden Stewart to end this 7th inning as it's the first 1-2-3 for the Outlaws pitching staff since Jordan Goebel way back in the first. Top of the 8th coming up here at Shuttleworth Park. The Outlaws trying to hold on to the 7-3 lead against the defending back-to-back champs. Back at Shuttleworth Park, top of the 8th inning, Jaden Ross, first pitch swinging, going to shoot one up foul on our first baseline out of the ballpark. Was nice to talk to Mr. Ross for a quick second here before we started our top of the 8th inning. He's been up for the first week of the season. He's flying back to Tampa tomorrow as the 0-1 to Ross. Up and away, ball 1. Always a privilege to meet these Outlaw parents at games, and if you're a family member of an Outlaw and you make it out to a game, stop by and say hey to the booth. It's the 1-1. Called strike, 1-2. It goes 2-3-4 for the Outlaws here in this 8th inning. Is that one going to get away from Latterhoff behind the plate? It's 2-2. Aikens back out for his second inning on the hill here for the Mohawks. Ethan Glossett taking some big hats in the on-deck circle here for the Outlaws. Is Aikens going to kick and set? Up and away it goes, ball 3. Had to draw Latterhoff off his feet as we did get alerted to some defensive changes there after that last inning. It was Natali who started the game behind the plate. Latterhoff is now back there. DiGiorno, my apologies. I was calling it as Latterhoff being down there, but DiGiorno's been at first for the last couple innings. It's the 3-2, low and away, as that goes for ball 4 to Jaden Ross to lead off our 8th inning. So in the 7th inning, Chase Armstrong walked to lead off the frame on a 3-2. And then Aiken sent down 3 in a row, and now he's going to try to do that again. But this middle part of the Oneonta order has, despite the ice-cold spell, been the guys who've been getting on base. As Glossa going to shoot it back foul. It goes 0-1. 5 o'clock will be our Game 1 start tomorrow, and it'll be Oneonta at Albany for Game 1 in the doubleheader at Damaski tomorrow. Then we'll take half hour between games. Game 2, it'll be Albany at Oneonta. Big dance off first for Ross at the 0-1. Swing and a miss, Glossa. 0-2 it goes. Aiken went to that four-seam fastball that took a nice little turn right down the heart of the plate. Glossa trying to put a ball in play here for the Outlaws as the 0-2, and he does put it in play. Shallow right field it goes. Manny Santos charged over, but the catch made by DiGiorno is it's a P3 to send down Glossa. So there'll be one away with our score still 7-3. In the 6th inning, this Amsterdam Mohawks team mowed Oneonta down 1-2-3. Then they came around and have put back-to-back base runners on for the last 2 innings, but haven't been able to do anything with them. Hopko slow roller towards second. Santos charged in, underhand flip to first. Not going to be in time. I think if Amsterdam scorers have given us any indication tonight, they might be able to call that one an error. It'll be first and second for the Outlaws, and yeah, they give a hit. So Hopko going to get a single, which for Hopko's batting average we won't complain about. But to Colton Harrison, going to be next up. He's in the 5 spot in the Oneonta order. That is the first hit for the Outlaws since the first inning. We're here in the top of the 8th as Harrison going to watch that one blow by for a called strike. Third base is the only bag open for Parker Aikens now in this 8th inning. 7-3 Outlaws lead. Hoping to tack on a couple more runs to solidify this advantage that was 7-0 way back when. Swing and a miss with another big fastball. Harrison trails 0-2 in the count. Got to think with the 2 games at home tomorrow, Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska are going to try to work everybody into the lineup for one of those 2 games at the bare minimum tomorrow. And you hope Brendan Connolly will be good to go tomorrow. Is the 0-2 tipped back by Harrison as he hangs alive. We hope Connor Waiting will be back with us tomorrow as well. As Connor, if you're watching back in Oneonta tonight on the live feed, we miss you, buddy. 0-2, 1 out here in this top of the 8th. It's Ross down there at second after the leadoff walk. Hopko stands at first after the single. Now working from the third base side, Aikens delivers. Won't get that call on that outside lower corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes it is. Here on Colton Harrison. Harrison, one of those guys with the all-white batting helmet, just as his teammate, now former teammate, Marco Musis does. Former teammate at U of N, but outlaw teammate here for summer 24. Checklet down to second. Aikens comes set, deliver. Swing and a miss as Harrison tumbles down to a knee. He's retired for the first out of this 8th inning, or second out of this 8th inning, excuse me. As Glossa popped out to first. So there's 2 away. Now for Brody Raleigh. As the Outlaws hoping that they, once again, don't strand runners. They've left just 3 on base in this ball game so far, but other than that first inning, they have only had a couple of runners on base. First pitch into Raleigh, going to be ball 1 at the knee level. Aikens trying to at least finish off this frame as we do have an Amsterdam Mohawk up and throwing down in the bullpen as the temperature has really dropped throughout this game as well. It's starting to get a little chilly here at Shuttleworth Park under the lights. 1-0. Drilled out towards third, rolls through the legs of Sparks into left field. Turning third, Jaden Ross going to cruise on in to score. Heading for second, Brody Raleigh. He's got another extra base hit. It's H3, Oneonta. They score that is an error on Garrett Sparks. that certainly is, well, another interesting call by our scorers in Amsterdam. But you like to see the Outlaws finally breaking up that Amsterdam Mohawks bullpen solid night. As it's 1-0 now on Marco Moises. Jet swing, and they say it came around. It's 1-1. So Hopko standing at third. It's Brody Rowley at second. The 1-1, right on in there for a strike. So count goes 1-2 on Moises. Aikens looking for a strike. Hoping he can get out of this jam and leave two Outlaws in scoring position. And he won't on that one as he misses the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes it is. Moises will take a big breath. Gotta think Aikens is going to go for a breaking pitch once more. Seemed to work for him in these 2 strike counts as the 2-2 pitch. Won't get that call as it goes full. The home plate umpire hearing it from the Amsterdam faithful. As our score now 8-3 Outlaws here in this 8th inning. Marco Moises trying to make that a little further up. 3-2 pitch, drilled up foul as it once again gets into the trees on that third base line. Be curious to see how many balls those trees take throughout the course of a summer here at Shuttleworth. For those wondering what this park is used for during the year, Union College plays their home baseball games here. So this park is used in the spring as the 3-2 to Moises. Bounced in fairground, rolls foul. Keaton Mark clapping as he stays alive with it, at the very least. Gotta salute your guys on drawing long counts. And Marco Moises certainly making a prime example of things as this will be pitch 9 coming up. Aikens from the third base side gonna deliver. And he's not gonna get the call. As a home plate umpire who said we had 3 balls, now gonna say we have 3 balls again. Okay, so 3-2. Guess it happens. 3-2 the count, so the payoff. The delivery, bounce towards second base. A little play there made hard in to DiGiorno to retire Moises to get out of this 8th inning. So the Outlaws trying to pair on base, but not before a run finally crosses home. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Amsterdam, and it remains Outlaws on top now, an 8-3 lead. 5-6-7 for the Mohawks as we bring you back into Shuttleworth Park here on Outlaws YouTube. Oneonta hoping to preserve this lead, get out of here with their fourth straight. Bouncer past Hayner, gets the second. Raleigh fields and fires over for the out. Armstrong's able to scoop it up and get it to first in time as there's one away here quickly in the bottom of the eighth. Hayner staying out here. Jordan Goebel went 3 2/3, and since then it's been Hayner all the way here for this Outlaws team. Hayner now at 4 2/3 on the day. Is set up in the box goes Sparts, and he takes a strike. Sparts in this ball game, 1 for 3 because they actually gave a hit. As this one in there for a called strike, it goes 0-2. Luckily for the Outlaws' batting average sake, just one more trip to Amsterdam on tap here in 2024. As Brody Raleigh, I'm sure he's going to get on the bus and be talking about how he should have had an RBI double on that one, not a E5. There's 4 errors given to the Outlaws in this game. 1 assessed to the Mohawks is the 1-2. Shot up to the trees, third baseline foul once more. 1 ball, 2 strikes and an out here, bottom of the 8th in Amsterdam. Outlaws on top 8-3 in the first of 4 against the 22 and 23 champs. They've won 3 of the last 4. Socrates, the team that won the other, which was against this Amsterdam team, as it goes 2-2. So the last team to win from the West was Jamestown back in 2019, and they've even rebranded since then as the 2-2 tip bat foul. After this 8th inning ends, we will take another look at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard, but we want to remind you, head over and subscribe to Outlaw social medias, or follows, I guess you should say. Can subscribe to our Outlaws YouTube, though, as this one, shallow left field, going to fall in for a hit. Big turn by Jade Sparts, but he's going to be held up there as he's got a single with 1 out. Keaton Mark looking down to the Outlaw bullpen to see if his next reliever's ready. Having a hard time seeing who's ready, or getting ready down there. So this might be the last batter Joel Ayner sees. He's looking to the dugout thinking that the ball's probably going to get taken from him, but he'll get to see Michael O'Brien with a runner on. Outlaws are in double play defense as this one going to be a slider for a strike. Hayner's working in some sliders here in this 8th inning, trying to generate swings and misses. Chet's a throw down to first, trying to buy himself a little time. Oneonta sending Jack Kopko down there to talk to the bullpen. Probably a message from Keaton Mark as Hopko, one of Keaton's returners, that he leans on a lot. Count goes 1-1 here in the actual game action. O'Brien reaching on an error, has a hit by pitch, but 0 for 1 in the true at-bats. As he takes a strike on this one, laid off. And he's giving our home plate umpire a little bit of grief for that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. This Mohawks team certainly chirping at our home plate ump quite a bit tonight. Hayner, a little nod home, comes out with this one. Bounce towards third, on a knee, turn towards second, fired back to first. Not going to be in time, but Armstrong able to haul it down so it didn't get away. So they get the lead runner, which you like to see. And Keaton Mark is now going to come out of the bullpen. Brody Raleigh down, though, on the turf, and he's going to get back up. I think Keaton was coming out not to make the pitching change, but more to make sure Brody Raleigh was all right. He is telling Hayner he's got one last batter. Or needs one more out. He's just holding up a 1. So it's one or the other anyway. So we'll put it as a fielder's choice in our scoreboard for O'Brien. It looks like we are going to get a pinch hitter for Sebastian Harden. It's Cal Killjoy in the box here for Amsterdam. Quick gun throw down a second. Not going to get it in time. So Amsterdam going to have their base runner advance, and it'll be a 1-0 count. So Cal Killjoy up at the plate here for the Mohawks. And we'll see where he comes in the field, as he is one of the 2 catchers for this club. Big lead down there at second, now for O'Brien. Check swing. They say he came around as it goes 1-1. Here on the soon-to-be junior from Overland Park, Kansas. Turning that bat around is Hayner. Not even going to look to second. Home with the 1-1. Shot off foul right back into the netting on our third base line. So Hayner 1 pitch away from getting out of this 8th inning and sending us to the final frame in our regular 9. O'Brien with a couple of step lead off second. Santos waiting on deck as the 1-2 going to miss the zone. Taggart able to keep it in front. Goes 2-2. Hayner stepping off the rubber. Now first base side. Amsterdam going to be on the road the next 2 nights as they'll go to Boonville tomorrow, turn around and go to Saugerties on Sunday before they get an off day Monday. But then when Tuesday comes around, they'll start a stretch of playing 6 consecutive days, including a doubleheader on Thursday of next week, as the 2-2 chirped up foul. They'll play the All-Stars Academy here at 10:30 a.m. in a school day game for kids to come out and watch here at Shuttleworth Park, and then they'll turn around and come down to Oneonta that night for a 7 p.m. game against the Outlaws. 2-2. Maybe he came around, but they say he held up, so it goes 3-2. They're not making it easy for Hayner to get out of this inning. Killjoy set up with his feet, spread eagle, throws his bat away as that's ball 4. He draws the long, deep walk and reaches base. So it's first and second now with 2 outs, and Keaton Mark going to come out, and we are going to see a pitching change here for the Outlaws. So let's step aside and take a quick break here on Outlaws YouTube. 8-3, Oneonta leads. Thought we were going to see a pitching change, but sorry about that. Joel Hayner going to stay out. Keaton Mark comes out trying to settle down his primetime reliever here. Big swing, Taggart a gun throw down at first. Not going to get him as it'll go 0-1. Mark gestured to his bullpen walking out of the dugout, but doesn't go to it. So we're trying to see who's warming up down there for the Outlaws. The Outlaw bullpen just out of your screen. Shot right back up the middle. Charging over Harden. Not going to force a throw. So the bases are going to be loaded, but at least no run scores. So they do score that one as a single. So a ball that's kept on the infield, they score as a single here at Shuttleworth Park. And now after the way this inning started, you would have thought the Outlaws deserved better. But it's first, second, and third with 2 outs, and now Hayner desperately looking for an out. And we'll see who's going to come in and try to shut the door in the 9th, because I guess Joel Hayner won't be back for the 9th. As Taggart going to keep this one in front, it's ball 1. His Mohawks team has certainly made this game quite interesting after the Outlaws scored 7 in the top half of the first. Thought that we were in for a long, quick night, that maybe the Outlaws would roll by and get the mercy run rule win, but that was quickly out the rear view as this one bulleted out into the right center gap, charging over. Ross brings it down, and Hayner gets out of the jam. A fly out to center field, and they leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning in Amsterdam. Let's go to the 9th here on Outlaws YouTube. Oneonta looking for their 4th straight victory. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park for the final inning in our regular 9 here on tap tonight. New pitcher for the Mohawks is Armstrong. Going to watch that one sail by for ball 1. He has a triple in this ball game. For those of you who may have missed his bases clearing triple way back when in the first, Hernandez sails that one in high and away for ball 2. Skyrocketed out towards center field. O'Brien going to charge on bat just in front of the track, brings it down for the out. So Armstrong sent down to retire, to begin this top of the 9th inning. And we'll go to Jeremy Taggart as it is 8-9-10 in this inning for the Outlaws. Hernandez ERA entering tonight 3.85. Through 2 1/3 innings pitched. Taggart swinging a miss. He pitched an inning and a third in the Mohawks opening night win at Glens Falls on the 31st. Gave up 1 run, walked 4, struck out 2 as that one got away from landing off behind the plate. Goes 1-1. Also threw an inning. Gave up 1 hit and walked 1 against Mohawk Valley Tuesday. Is the 1-1 pitch. Taggart going to bomb it back behind home plate foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes goes our count. Taggart going to reset himself in the box. Both feet set near the chalk line. That one sails up a bit high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taggart 0 for 3 in the ball game entering tonight, or entering this 9th inning. Wow. My brain not fully functioning here in the 9th. Is that one going to sail in for ball 3, and it goes full. Taggart trying to get on base for the first time here this evening. In at the hands, it goes ball 4. So Taggart going to flip the bat away as he'll be on ahead of Jack Bateman. Bateman down here at the bottom of the order. He's had a far from ideal day for Oneonta. Had an interesting fluky play his last time up in the 7th on a drop third strike that thought he was going to take first base, but to no avail as he took a big hack and just caught air. He'll trail in the count, 0-1. Now going to readjust his batting helmet here against Hernandez. From the first base side of the rubber, takes a nod. High at the hands it comes again, 1 ball and a strike. We've now gone just past the 3 hours since pitch number 1 was thrown way back when here at Amsterdam. We've had 2 rain delays in there, so certainly a quicker game than we've had the last few days at Damascus before our off day, as that's in there for a strike. Helps that we've had a handful of 1, 2, 3 innings for both teams' pitching staffs. Bateman down to his final strike in his battle against Hernandez. Trying to keep this a 5-run game in this 9th. Sails that one in there. Bateman looked like he tried to sell it that it caught his hand, but not going to get a call as it'll go 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bateman wearing his all whites out there in terms of the cleats tonight. There's a little nod home. Bateman sent up foul once more. So staying alive, living on a prayer, whatever you want to say, Jad Bateman's doing it right now. Mohawks are set up in double play defense. Daniel and Harden up the middle. First base out of the rubber, the 2-2. About got away from Ladderhoff, but he was able to stick his glove back there and backhand it to make it full. So Hernandez hoping he can get an out here in some way, whether it's a strike or a ball put in play. Takes a side, the 3-2. In there tight for ball 4, and that's back-to-back walks for your Outlaws. So that's certainly not what Hernandez wanted to do. I think they were hoping that he could go 1, 2, 3 and slam the door here in this top of the 9th. But Oneonta has 2 on base with just 1 out. And Tanner Harden, who's 1 for 4, going to settle himself in. Harden with 16 for this Outlaw roster from Union, South Carolina. 1 of 3 Wofford commits on this Oneonta roster. That one going to skip away from Ladderhoff behind the plate on the wild pitch as both base runners will move up. So it gets them in a scoring position, which you like to see. And you hope for the sake of the Outlaws that they can get 1 or 2 of these in just to get even more of a cushion, feel better heading into the final frame of the night. Count going to be 1-1 as Harden just kind of fouled that one off himself, rolled back behind. Jaden Ross is in the on-deck circle for Oneonta here in this 9th inning. It'd be cool to see him get one last at bat with his dad in town. It's the 1-1, up and away, ball 2. Mohawks are kind of drifting in all the way around. Only one back with his cleats on the dirt is their shortstop in Daniel. Up and away, ball 3. It's Harden trying to draw the 3rd consecutive walk here against the guy the Mohawks were hoping could slam the door in the big way here in the 9th. 3-1 pitch comes in, swing and a miss as he went high heat right down the middle of the zone. So he's got Harden on his heels. here in this at bat in the ninth. 3-2 count, 1 out. The Outlaws lead 8-3. First base is the only bag open. The 3-2 pitch sent up foul. Harden with some good plate defense here in this ninth inning. And now going to step on back in the box. Feeder spread wide. Is this one delivered? Chopped right on bat foul. Looked like a lumberjack clipping that one. So certainly hope that the bases don't get walked full here. The 3-2 once again sprayed up foul. Tanner Harden's working this for all it's worth, as this will be pitch number 10 of the at-bat coming up. He's certainly working Hernandez's pitch count up, which isn't ideal for the Mohawks. With Gabe still coming up Saturday, Sunday. Infield's going to keep on drifting in. Payoff pitch once more. In tight for ball 4. It rolls away. Run's going to score here for Oneonta. And it is 9-3. The umpire is going to have a quick conversation about this one. Run will count, much to Amsterdam's displeasure. Good heads-up base running. Going to get Bateman over there to third. It'll still be just 1 out. We'll clear that count for you. Is Jaden Ross going to settle in? So 9-3 lead for Oneonta. Ross first pitch swinging. Out towards straight center. O'Brien brings it down. Ross will pick up an RBI. Is tagging to score. Comes Bateman, and it's 10-3 Outlaws. So the Outlaws have put up double-digit runs for 4 consecutive games, which you love to see. There's 2 outs now in this inning. Looked like it was a little sketchy if the Outlaws would keep that trend up of putting up double digits. As Glossa, another first pitch swing. Couldn't connect with that high heater, as he'll fall behind 0-1. Outlaws hoping they can turn around tomorrow and put up a couple more double-digit run games against the Albany Baseball Club, who, as we come back for the bottom of the ninth, we'll talk about their final against Saugerties. Up and away. Tag laid down. And they say Harden got tagged. So it certainly wasn't an ideal play. Certainly wasn't an ideal inning for Amsterdam, as 2 more Oneonta runs going to score. We head to the bottom half of the ninth as the Mohawks have to score 7 to tie this thing up. 10-3, where we stand. Let's slam the door and get out of this one with a 4th straight win. That's exactly what the Outlaws looking to do. Bottom of the 9th. Hopefully our final welcome back to you here in Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. 10-3, the Outlaws leading the Mohawks. It's 2-3-4 in this Amsterdam order. A little Chet swing on the first pitch, and Eldred will fall behind 0-1. After Hayner put on an impressive show, Chris Ubner coming out of the Outlaw bullpen, the Cooperstown product, trying to slam the doors. A bunt play attempted there by Eldred. It's 0-2. Eldred will be down to his last strike. He's gone 0 for 4, really uncharacteristic night for a guy who's apt to sit in the top of this Amsterdam order for the rest of the summer. 0-2 pitch, in tight at the bell. 1 ball, 2 strikes it is. He just finished his junior year at Marist, the first guy from Marist to roll into town, but obviously he just had to come back home. A lot of these guys went home first before they showed up as the other Marist Red Fox guys rolling in here over these last couple of days as the count will go to 2-2. Can't wait to see our other 3 Marist guys get their first Outlaw action, whether it be tomorrow or Monday night, as the Outlaws going to be at home tomorrow for a doubleheader against Albany starting at 5 o'clock. Outlaws will be the visitors for Game 1, home team for Game 2, and it's free entry, sponsored by Oneonta Elementary School's PTO. Ubner with the 2-2 pitch. Won't get that call on the lower outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Ubner going to get cheated on that one, as Eldridge worked the bat from 0-2 to full. Ubner with a little sign, a 7-run lead. Ball 4. Eldred down 0-2, going to work the walk. Is now Oneonta going to shift Raleigh over towards second base to cover. Harden. A dead-on look with DiGiorno. Slotted in there at short here for the Outlaws. A little dance-off first for Eldred with his team down 7. There's a sparkly batting helmet DiGiorno does. Looks like it got glitter on it. Pretty interesting to look at from up here. Looks like the sparkles are purple even. Quality look here for the Mohawks, I guess. Is the 0-1 pitch from Ubner. Chopper towards third, diving out. Bateman couldn't corral it in. Rolls to the corners. Harrison going to pinch the line and hold it, as it'll be first and second for the Mohawks. It's still nobody out. So the first 2 base runners have reached in the 9th inning against Chris Ubner in his Outlaws debut of 2024. He'll fire this baseball back to the Mohawk dugout as he wants a new one. Facing Nelson. Nelson wearing 12, just finished his sophomore season at Alabama, up in his 2nd trip to the plate. The Mohawks will both take big leads off the bat. It's 10-3 our score. Is Ubner going to deliver? Called strike to Nelson, it goes. As Ubner gets ahead on his 3rd straight hitter. So he gets ahead on his 3rd straight hitter, but having a hard time putting him away. Is a long glance to second, 0-1, up and away, ball 1 as it goes even. Runners at first and second here for the Mohawks. Bottom of the 9th inning, nobody out. If you're just dropping by to join us, man, you've missed a heck of a baseball game tonight. Outlaws trying to hold on to this one to win 4 in a row as this brushes back Nelson. 2 balls and a strike. Outlaws going to have those 2 home games tomorrow against Albany, be home Monday against Utica, and then turn around and play 5 of their next 6 on the road. So we'll get pretty comfortable here on the bus the next few days. Big swing, and nothing was there for Nelson as he was trying to bomb one. Shuttleworth Park is a pretty friendly home run hitters park. You saw Hunter Pence way back when, hitting shots all around Amsterdam over the fence. As a former San Francisco Giant, played here way back in the early 2000s before his MLB days, before he went on to be a 2-time World Series champion. As the count goes full on Nelson, And Ubner still struggling to put a guy away here in this inning. Outlaws bullpen is dead quiet. Nobody's left out down there. Is Oneonta dugout pretty full. The 3-2 pitch from Ubner. Ball 4. Oh. Ubner's going to keep it interesting here in this 9th inning. And Keaton March going to come out of the bullpen to have a quick conversation with his guy. Oneonta going to start to send somebody down there to that bullpen area. Definitely don't want to have to use another arm tonight. But Keaton Mark, it seems like every time he comes out to the mound and has a conversation with his pitcher, it settles the pitcher down. Keaton's just a dude with a really calming vibe. And he's hoping to give that calming vibe to Chris Ubner right now. Bases are full of Mohawks here in the bottom of the 9th inning, here on their home field. And this crowd is really thinned out. Now probably a couple hundred people at best left here in this bottom of the 9th inning. Said already, it's gotten really chilly here in Amsterdam after the sun totally went down and the rainstorms came through. As I'm really wishing I had packed a hoodie or a quarter zip tonight. Is the first pitch from Ubner in there for a called strike 1. Got some people down below us here at Shuttleworth Park, if it says anything, wrapped in blankets. Is Ubner gonna go 0-1 heater, tip back, rolls away, and Ubner comes to cover home, so it's 0-2. So Ubner once again getting ahead of a hitter. And now looking for an out, and he needs it in a big way here for Oneonta. Down by 7 are the Mohawks here in the 9th. And I do have my player of the game in mind for the Outlaws already. We'll get to that after the final out's recorded, of course. 0-2 from Ubner as he sighs and delivers. Bit low it is, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here on the 5-hole guy in the Mohawk order. Sparks is waiting on deck when his number's called. Sparks with a pair of hits and has an RBI in this ball game. Is Ubner, another sigh and delivers. Chopper right back to him. He'll go to the plate. They get the lead runner. Throw back to first, and they turn the double play. It's a 1-2 to get the out at home and a 1-2-3 to get Ladahoff down there at first. So first base now going to be open. Second and third have guys on. We'll wipe that count off the screen for you. As the Mohawks down to their final out. Chris Ubner hoping to slam the door here in this 9th inning. Steps and delivers. Rolls away from Taggart. Ubner will come to cover home. Not going to get a throw off as a run will score here for Amsterdam. And a runner going to advance as it's 10-4 and now a 1-0 count on Sparks. So DiGiorno is the man who crosses the plate. Nelson is the guy who gets the third. Sparks hoping he can keep this ball game alive with first and second open here against Chris Ubner. To have a bases loaded jam, Ubner certainly making the best of things for Oneonta, getting some help from his catcher and Taggart and first baseman and Armstrong. 1-0 upstairs and away, ball 2 it goes. 2 balls, no strikes on Jake Sparks. Ubner ahead 2-0, fires that one swing and a miss. So he's ahead 2 balls and a strike. Ubner from the first base side of the rubber, the 2-1. Called strike, 2-2. So the Mohawks down to their last strike here at home. Ubner trying to close the door with a game-ending K on the road. Looking for 4 straight. The sigh and the delivery. skied in the air out towards left field. Harrison's drifting over to the corner, and he's got it in fair territory for the first time in almost 2 years. The Outlaws have defeated the Mohawks as they win this one by a 10-4 score here at Amsterdam. What a play by Harrison in the corner to give the Outlaws their third out. They move to 4-1 on the season, and we'll wipe our scorebook off the screen here in Amsterdam as the job has been done. The Outlaws wrestle down the Mohawks in the defending champ's house. We're going to step aside for a brief moment and get ready to go for our post-game show, and when we come back, our 60 to 90 second post-game recap on the fly coming at you. Welcome back to Outlaws YouTube, as the Outlaws have done it for the first time since June 29, 2022. They have taken down the Amsterdam Mohawks as we flash our beautiful post-game graphic on the screen for you. 10-4. Outlaws your final tonight as Oneonta once again. The hits don't match the runs, but the run production says enough. 10-4, they take down Amsterdam as they give the Mohawks their second loss in their first 6. Amsterdam's going to drop to 4-2, and Oneonta moves to 4-1 ahead of a doubleheader against Albany tomorrow, 5 and 7:30. Amsterdam travels to Boonville for a 6:45 start tomorrow night. Player of the game for the Outlaws goes to Chase Armstrong. He has that 3 RBI triple in the first inning, takes a walk as well, and shows off the great defensive leather. So 10-4 your score. Chase Armstrong your player of the game. In Oneonta, you are winners of 4 straight for the first time since July of 2022. Man, the feeling's high. Now let's go win a couple more tomorrow. Have a great night. Outlaws 4-1.